You know, there are all sorts of amazing things you can do with products already lying around the house that were meant for other things. We'll explore some of those, plus everyday items that have other purposes you may not be aware of. I'm also in a silly mood, so hey, let's have some fun. Many pairs of kitchen scissors today have a serrated opening where the handles and blades meet. You can use this as an herb stripper to destem difficult herbs like thyme, rosemary, and chives. Saves you a lot of time trying to pick the leaves off by hand. And if you're short of a vase, you could present roses to your significant other this way. Just be careful when you're pointing the sharp end. The metal tab on soda cans can be flipped around. You can slip a straw in place so you don't have to hold it up to your mouth. This stay-on tab replaced the pull ring tab created in the early 60s. You remember those, don't you? Those could be quite sharp and easily discarded where they could be a menace for others. Now, you can pop your straw straight into one. Also means you can produce some bubbles and make a mess. Sometimes when you purchase an article of clothing, you receive a plastic baggie with an extra button and a swash of fabric. While the fabric is clearly used to patch holes, it can also be used to test the effects of various cleaners on certain surfaces. It's handy too to test wash cycles before using them to wash the whole garment. And if you want to clean your nose with it, that suggestion never came from me. You can use a screwdriver for leverage if you're having trouble lifting or moving something. Some also have a hexagonal shape handle that fits inside a wrench or spanner. You can use it to improve torque and, again, for leverage. A little easier on your hands. Some of us aren't that strong. Or maybe that's just me. Rubber bands are great for many things, but if you have a bottle that's hard to open, you can wrap the band around it for a better grip. Escalators have those fluffy black brushes for a similar reason that some have yellow lines on their steps. To try and deter people from getting too close to dangerous places. People don't always take notice, and sometimes clothing can drape close to a point where the step meets the edge or skirt. The brush is a little barrier to help prevent this from happening. They can also catch bits of fluff and prevent other small things from falling down into the gaps. Your average pair of jeans has several features that are both functional and somewhat sentimental. The metal rivets around the pockets help secure the stress points. This ensures they last a bit longer than average, though not all jeans have them. Many still have a tiny pocket directly above the main pocket. This was originally meant to hold a pocket watch. Even though pocket watches are mostly a thing of the past, many people still use this space to store coins, rings, or even a portable USB. Now, this may seem a little obvious, but if you've ever wondered what all the notches are in a car tire, it's for traction on the road. However, there are also a good indicator if your tire is getting too worn down. If those notches aren't so deep anymore and are almost flush with the road, it's time to replace them. If you don't, the next time you try to stop suddenly at a stop sign, you might be surprised to find your car has turned into a giant roller skate. Those takeaway containers most associated with Chinese restaurants are designed to not only carry your food home, but to store them in the fridge. They double as a plate, as you can eat straight out of them and don't have to worry about dirty dishes. Yay! They were actually patented way back in 1894 to transport freshly shucked oysters and were known as oyster pails. They were later adapted to use as leak-proof containers for food. While you're sitting on an airplane and looking out the window, you may have noticed those little holes, or in some instances, a small singular opening near the bottom. This is called a breather hole, and no, it's not for you. It's designed to equalize the difference in air pressure which builds up between the pressurized cabin and the atmosphere outside, especially during high altitudes. It also releases moisture from between the panes to avoid frost from forming on the windows and obstructing that all-important view. Sorry, but it looks like you won't be drawing a smiley face on it anytime soon. This was first introduced way back in 1956 by a company in Japan. Pretty cool, huh? They got their inspiration from snap-off rows on chocolate bars. Just don't get the two mixed up. One doesn't taste good. When it comes to measuring tape, almost every reel has an empty slot in the metallic end. This is called a nail grab, so you can attach it to a nail or screw. A handy trick to do measurements without requiring someone else to hold it in place. Ooh, very nifty. Bobby pins have grooves on one side to hold your hair in place better. Crazy notion, huh? The straight side goes face up, while the grooves go down against your head. They're called bobby pins because of the bobbed hairstyle, which was popular in the 1920s, though the pins were invented in the 19th century. The look is gone, but the pins remain. Please take them out before you wash your hair, as they don't look great stuck to your fingers. If you've been in a car or a bus and noticed the textured black dots baked into the black edges, you've probably worked out that it's not there for its pretty looks. It's called frit, a ceramic paint. Its main purpose is to protect the window from ultraviolet rays. It also creates a rough surface for the adhesive to cling to. Now, if you see a pink lump of adhesive in the corner, please do not touch it. It's actually someone's old bubble gum. If you take a look at the bottom of the lock, chances are you'll see one or two little holes. This is to let water out from the inside that may have been trapped due to rain. This mini draining capability prevents the inner working from rusting over or freezing in place if the weather's very cold. If, in another situation, the lock becomes stuck, you can ease an oil-based product inside to lubricate the lock and get it working again. If you've lost the key and want to ease your frustrations, you can yell into the holes. It won't do anything to unlock it, but it may help you feel a little better. Some dress shirts have a fabric loop on the back. You guessed it, it's used for hanging the shirt up. The loops were reportedly first used in the Navy, as it was easy to simply hang them on the wall. During the 1960s in colleges, the fashion of the day was to wear the shirt buttoned all the way to the top, which made them difficult to hang. So designers began putting the loop on the back. If the student removed the loop, it signified that they were going steady in a relationship. Unless your friend ripped one off for a prank, now everyone's asking whom you're with. There's a little more to this story, but we haven't got time to hang around. And yes, that's a bad pun. On purpose. It's what I do. Ever wondered why coins have those little ridges along the edge? It's a leftover from earlier times when they were worth more. Counterfeiters could easily file the edges off to sell as gold or silver coins to make some profit. The ridges were created so it was much easier to tell which of the coins had been altered. It's not needed today, but the coins still have that altered style. If you ever get really bored, you could try counting how many ridges there are. Actually, that is a very boring idea. Forget that and watch another Brightside video instead. Did you know zippers have locks? Or that food containers have been designed to make your life so much easier? If only you knew how to use them properly. Well, get ready to find out the secrets behind everyday items you have certainly been taking for granted. Some airplanes have wings with upturned ends. But why? When a plane is soaring through the sky, air begins to spiral around the tips of the wings. This can cause something called drag. This means that the airplane has to work harder to move forward as the drag acts as resistance. The upturned ends, or winglets, reduce the amount of drag the plane experiences. This makes for a smoother, more efficient ride and improves the aircraft's stability. Many countries around the world have started to explore wind as a way to generate electricity. This involves using large turbines. These giant machines have massive blades which catch the wind. This makes them spin, generating power that can be added to the electrical grid. You may think those blades have smooth edges, like you would find on a fan, but they're not. They're actually covered in little pointy teeth called serrations, similar to what you would see on a saw. People living near wind turbines will appreciate these serrations. They not only reduce the noise as the blades spin, making them much quieter, but also reduce how far that noise will travel. Now, I'll bet you have a blender, and I'll also bet you use it incorrectly. When making a smoothie, for example, do you cram in all those healthy fruits and veggies and then cover them with your preferred liquid? Then you turn the device on and it whines, struggles, and sounds like it might blow a fuse. Well, you are supposed to add all the liquids first. Then you can add the solids. The blades don't have to struggle as much to spin through the liquid. This creates a whirlpool effect, and the device is able to pull the solid food down and blend everything evenly. Your next smoothie will have fewer chunks. Yes, you are welcome. I know that with online banking, you are handling fewer checks. But next time you see one, take a close-up look at the signature lines on the front and back. No, closer than that. I think you might need to grab a magnifying glass. Those lines are really teeny tiny words. Called microprinting, they make it harder for people to print fake checks. This will be indicated on the check with the letters MP, often near where the signature goes. The words that make up these lines can be anything from authorized signature to original document. Most printers are unable to reproduce the microprinting, making it easier to detect a fake check. Hand sanitizer is everywhere these days. Yep, nothing gets past me. And though it's great at keeping your fingers free of germs, it's actually much more useful than you think. Some of us have made the mistake of using a permanent marker on a whiteboard. Guess what? It doesn't come off. But grab your hand sanitizer and it can lift that stubborn mark. It can also help with cleaning windows, sunglasses, and mirrors. Do you have a magic key fob for your car? Most fobs are designed to lock and unlock your car doors. Some even allow you to start your car from a distance. But there's one feature some fobs have that you would never know unless you read the manual. And who has time for that? To see if you have a special fob, hold down the unlock button for a whole 2 seconds. For some car brands, this will open the windows of your car. This allows you to access your car if there's ever an issue with the door locks or to let out hot air on a summer day. You might have noticed a hole along the side of the shaft or barrel of some ballpoint pens. This is designed to handle pressure. The hole ensures that the internal and external pressure is the same, which allows the ink to flow freely into the tip. If these pressures were different, the ink could become stuck inside, making the pen useless. Another hole you might see is at the very top of a pen's cap. This is a new development, with companies adding it in 1991. First, it helps keep the ink from drying out. Yay! Second, it ensures that if you accidentally swallow it, the cap will not completely block your airway. You'll still be able to breathe while seeking help. Double yay! But maybe think about stop putting caps in your mouth in the first place. Speaking of holes, some shoes are designed with 2 extra holes, or eyelets. They're located near the arch just above the sole of the shoe. Everyone assumes they're there to help your feet breathe and keep sweating, and the resulting smelliness to a minimum. But you're actually supposed to use them when lacing up. They allow you to get a tighter, better fit and reduce the chances of spraining your ankle. Some people prefer to drink soda from a glass bottle, arguing that it tastes better. Whether or not this is true, the bottle does have a unique design feature that most people completely ignore. It's that long, tapered neck. Heat transfers from the hand. If you hold the bottle around the thicker body, you are warming the contents inside. Warm cola? No thanks. You should be holding on to the long neck instead. This way, your drink will stay colder longer. Hungry? Who doesn't like some delicious Chinese takeout? Here's a shocker. Those sturdy containers the food comes in can actually be turned into plates. First, grab the creases on the sides of the packaging. Slowly pull these apart. Push the corners down to flatten the box. This is ideal for rice and noodle dishes, but not so good for soup. Another surprise? Chinese takeout containers were not invented in China. They were created in 1894 by Frederick Weeks Wilcox, a man from Chicago. He called his creation a paper pail and was inspired by Japanese origami when he designed them. As Chinese food gained in popularity in America, these paper pails were used for delivery and takeout, and eventually became associated with this particular style of cuisine. Now, when it comes to dessert, or breakfast, or both actually, a popular choice is a donut. But people often wonder about the hole in the center. Wait, another hole? You bet! Although it's hard to know who exactly invented the hole in a donut, some stories give credit to a sailor named Hanson Gregory. It was 1847, and Hanson was only 16 years old. At the time, he was working on a lime trading ship. The deep-fried cakes served on board were nice and crispy on the outside, but undercooked and doughy on the inside. He suggested adding a hole in the middle, which would allow the batter to cook evenly. The modern donut was born. Hanson is now my personal hero. Of course, with all that food, it'll make doing up your pants a little harder. Luckily, most zippers now have locks. A locking mechanism, which often looks like a little pin or bump, was added to help keep the zipper done up. When you position the pull tab flat along the teeth, the pin hooks in place and the zipper can't move. When you lift the tab, it becomes unlocked and you can easily open and close it. Now, why are the letters on the computer keyboard in such random order? This feature dates back to when manual typewriters were used. Initially, the keys were placed in alphabetical order, but this way, people were able to type too quickly for the machine to handle. Levers associated with certain letters would often get jammed together. The QWERTY keyboard, which is the one we still use today, was designed to slow people down and reduce the chance of hitting two keys that might jam. The QWERTY keyboard may no longer be essential, but we have become used to it. Now, feel the F and J keys on your computer. Each of these has a little bump on it. These are known as homing bars, and the F and J are called position keys. They were designed to help you properly place your hand when typing without having to look down at them. This allows for touch typing, when you use your muscle memory to remember where each key was. For it to work, you have to put your fingers in a specific position before starting. This means ASDF for the left hand and JKL for the right hand. This is especially useful if you have to transcribe something for your job. You can read the original and type it out without slowing down to look at your keyboard. Even the human body has its own little secrets hiding in plain sight. On your fingers, at the base of each nail, there's something called a cuticle. Many people think it is just a bit of extra skin, and they cut or trim it, often when getting a manicure. But the cuticle is there to protect the nail from becoming infected by bacteria or fungus. By removing it, you are leaving your fingernails exposed. If you really want the look of a longer nail, you can gently push the cuticle back towards the base of the nail. It can still do its job, and you can still get that funky nail art you always wanted.
Crackers have holes in them to stop them cracking and breaking during baking. If the holes weren't there, steam would build up inside the cracker and make it collapse. Take a look at a soda bottle and you'll notice a disc inside the bottle cap. This helps seal in the liquid and the drink's fizz, stopping it from going flat. The long neck on your soda bottle is designed like that to encourage you to hold it there. That way, the heat from your hand will only warm that top bit of the bottle instead of heating up your whole drink. It's always hard to see your food in the microwave because of that pesky black grate on the window, but it's there to stop harmful microwaves from escaping. Called the Faraday shield, it protects you as well as ensures that your food cooks properly. Food items like chips come with about 43% nitrogen inside their package. It might seem like they sell you half a bag of air, but it's exactly the opposite. Oxygen, the gas we breathe, would react with the chips inside the bag and make them go rancid quickly. It's called oxidizing for a reason. Nitrogen, on the other hand, is an inert gas that helps keep the foodstuffs fresh and also protects them from breaking during transportation. A bag of chips that has this gas cushion lets you enjoy your crunchies without them turning to potato crumbs. Donuts have holes in them so that the inside and outside cook evenly. Before the holes were added, the inside would often be greasy and doughy while the outside was crisp. Margins on paper aren't for writing in dates and numbering lists. They were originally added to serve a protective function. Back in the day, rats used to be a pesky problem in people's homes, and paper was one of their favorite snacks. Margins were added as a safeguard so that the rats would nibble on blank paper, rather than taking a bite out of your important work. That hole in your hollow lollipop stick isn't to prevent choking should it ever be swallowed. It's actually there to keep the candy in place. Excess candy flows into the hollow tube, and the hole, which when it hardens, keeps the pop in place. If it was a smooth stick, the candy would slide off easily. Vacuums come with so many attachments, but do any of us really know what that one with long bristles is for? It's for dusting and is perfect for cleaning framed art, blinds, and lampshades. What's the difference between a wooden hanger and a plastic one? Aside from helping keep your clothes in shape, cedar wood hangers also repel moths and bugs. Salt isn't just used for cooking. It can get rid of tough smells. Rubbing salt on your fingertips after chopping garlic should remove the smell. It also works on shoes. Toasters have a secret slide in the bottom that can be removed, so you can clean out all those annoying breadcrumbs. If you ever had problems with popping chocolates from the box, look at those little holes around them. They're there to help you. If you push a hole right next to the candy, it'll jump out easily. When you take a sip from a coffee cup with a lid, it decreases air pressure inside the cup, so air tries to get in. The tiny hole on the lid allows air to enter that way, so liquid can smoothly pour out the main hole. More on beverage lids. The small button on them let restaurant workers, and customers too, understand what's in a cup. Near each button, there's a name. Just look at which one is pushed down. The numbers on the fruit stickers tell you how exactly they were grown. If there are 4 digits and the first is 4 or 3, the fruit has been sprayed with pesticides. If there are 5 digits and the first is 9, the fruit has been grown organically. If there are 5 digits and the first is 8, the fruit has been genetically modified. When you're on your way back to the car after bagging up everything you bought, use loops on a shopping cart to hang the bags. Now, softer items like bread, eggs, fruit, and veggies won't get squashed by the heavier goods. If you don't have anyone to hold the other end of your tape measure when you try to measure something, tap a nail on it. Now, simply hook your tape on it using the tiny hole all tape measures have. The square-shaped spoon that goes with a McFlurry helps to mix the ice cream toppings through the dessert. The spoon hooks directly to a machine and spins around. Padlocks that are used outside quickly get out of order because of rain. See this little hole in the bottom? It's made for pouring engine oil inside. Do this and the key will again turn in the lock without any difficulty. You keep banging the bottom of a glass ketchup jar, but nothing's coming out. Here's a little tip. Turn your ketchup bottle at an angle and tap on the middle of the neck. In many fast food restaurants, customers fill tiny folded paper cups to get a portion of ketchup or mustard. Here's the news. The cups are supposed to unfold and turn into small paper platters to hold a great deal more sauce. That little hole on the handle of a pot or a frying pan isn't just for hanging them on the wall. During cooking, put the end of your utensil in the hole, and it'll be propped over the pot to save your kitchen from extra mess. The blue or any other dark color bristles on your toothbrush are meant to remind you when it's time to get a new one. If you see that bristles have become pale, change the toothbrush or its head. An extra hole at the upper part of the sink has multiple hidden functions. First, in case someone forgets to close the tap, the water won't overflow and the bathroom won't get flooded. Second, thanks to that hole, the water drains faster as it gives an escape for the air, helping the water flow down. Most metallic zippers have a hidden lock inside them to save you from awkward situations, such as an undone fly. Don't leave the zipper handle in an upward position. When you pull it downwards, it automatically locks. It's all thanks to those tiny grooves hidden underneath the handle. Spoiled milk emits gases, like most foods when they go off. A classic plastic milk jug has a concave shape on one side. So when the gases expand inside the jug, it expands too, and the concave shape curves out. Also, if you want to save some milk for later and freeze it, the jug will expand when the milk gets solid as well, occupying more space in a jug. Bath foam isn't only for fun or a nice smell. It also helps regulate the temperature. The bubbles keep the water hot, so you can enjoy a bath a bit longer. Anyway, it works for acrylic bathtubs only. Those made of metal lose heat really fast either way. Many cups and mugs have little grooves on the bottom on purpose. They're designed for washing machines. The grooves let the water flow and not spill over your feet when you take the cup out. Also, those grooves let the air flow so the cup doesn't crack even if the tea is scalding. A point on an ointment cap is there for a reason too. Most tubes are usually sealed with foil, and it's better to avoid opening it with fingers unless you're ready to say goodbye to your nails. A point easily opens even the most safely sealed tube. Escalator brushes aren't for keeping your shoes clean and polished. It might be tough to apply wax right on that brush while the escalator's on the move. It's for your safety. Brushes won't let you come close to the edge, so a long coat or bootcut jeans won't end up in between the steps. All Tic Tac containers are designed to dispense one Tic Tac every time you open it. The lid has the same shape as the candy. Turn the container upside down, gently shake it, and slowly open it. You'll notice only one candy stuck between those lid grooves. So if you just open the container and shake it until 5 or even more candies fall into your mouth, it means you've been eating Tic Tacs wrong all this time. The pom-pom on top of your beanie wasn't put there as a fashion accessory. The pom-pom was originally added to the hat to prevent sailors from banging their heads on the ceilings of the ships that were too low.
If you've ever gotten bored while waiting in a car, like I have, you might have played around with a headrest. Yep, you can pull them off, and they'll come right off relatively easily. It seems useless at first, but that's something you'll want to do if you're ever trapped in a car and need to break a window to get out, like I do. Even a box of aluminum foil has its secret. On the side of the box, you can see a small tab you can push in. So simple, but that's what actually holds the roll of foil in place. This tab makes it way easier to unroll a sheet and tear it off without any frustration. Ever wondered why gripping a certain tool, handle, or even a pen kind of feels more secure when it's coated with a rubbery material? The keratin of the outer layer of the human skin is rough and stiff at a small scale. So let's say you have a polished metal or glass which is stiff but also a smooth and impenetrable surface. When you encounter that, the actual contact area is small, as is the friction at the beginning. Your sweat pores secrete moisture, which is why the keratin gets hydrated and becomes softer. Because of that, it requires many seconds for the contact area to increase to the same value it reaches almost right away with some soft materials like rubber. This mechanism might be used by our tactile senses when we want to identify materials. Now, the pom-poms on beanies and other hats have their purpose, and it's not just to look cute and fluffy. Well, at least they did have a purpose. One of the theories says French sailors used to wear hats with pom-poms so they wouldn't hurt their heads on the ship when the weather got rough. Yup, the ceilings of the ship were really low. When the waves were too big, bang, you could easily hit your head on the ceiling. So the pom-poms came in handy. Now they're just a cute addition to our winter caps. That mysterious drawer under the oven, the one where you keep all your kitchen gear you just don't know where else to put? Well, you used it well in that case, but the drawer was originally designed for keeping your meals warm, at least until you're ready to serve them. And that space under your lower cabinets that protrude slightly and can't be lifted, this area is also called a toe kick. It's the reason why you can stand closer to the counter while cooking. Also, the doors of the cabinets are off the ground, so they'll swing over your toes. The cabinet under the sink isn't for storage either. Maybe that's where you keep your cleaning products, but its real purpose is to give you access if your sinks leak and you need to do some plumbing work. That weird little hole at the top of a lollipop stick you can see after finishing a candy is not a whistle. It has something to do with the manufacturing process. When pouring hot molten caramel into a mold, some of it will seep into this mysterious hole and harden. This way, the candy will stay on the stick and won't fall off. Keyboard letters aren't just randomly arranged the way they are. The first keyboard ever made belonged to the typewriter. Typists eventually got so good at their job, they started typing too quickly. So the key arms would get cross-wired at some point and stuck. That's why manufacturers had to make the order of keys more random to intentionally slow down typists so they could keep the machine running. Do you like to let those brushes on the side of the escalators in malls polish your shoes? Believe it or not, that's not their main gig. The bristles are there for safety. People used to get their bags and clothes stuck in those escalators when they would stand too close to the sides. These nylon bristles kind of play with people's minds, and they keep their feet away from the escalator skirt panels and avoid accidents. Most people assume bobby pins have curves for fashion, which is why they mostly place it in their hair with the wavy side up. But those little waves are actually there to catch the underlying bulk of hair and grip the pin into place, so the wavy side should go down. You've probably noticed measuring tapes mostly come with a metal stub that ends with a small slot. If your hands are full of stuff, simply hang the slot on a nail for measurement. If you take a closer look, you'll see the stub is a little bit serrated on one side. This means you can use it to mark the points, so you don't even need a pencil. If you spend a lot of time in planes, you've probably noticed that little hole located at the bottom of the window. Nothing to be nervous about. It's what keeps us safe while flying high. It's something called a bleed hole. You can see right there in the middle of the pane of the 3 window panes that actually protect passengers from the outside pressure. This hole may be tiny, but it takes all that pressure off the outer one. The hole also gradually exposes it to cabin pressure, which helps with fixing pressure imbalances on the windows, if there are any. There's a number 57 staring at you from the middle of the Heinz ketchup bottle forever. According to the company, only 11% of people are aware the number really has nothing to do with the product label. It's actually a sweet spot where you can tap to get the sauce onto the plate. So, next time you want some ketchup, there's no need to bang the bottom off. Just hit this spot. Grooves on the bottom of cups are there to make cleaning them in the dishwasher more convenient. When you place your cups upside down, these grooves will allow the water to flow rather than stagnate. This way, the water won't spill onto your feet when you take the cups out. The grooves are there to allow cool air to flow beneath the cup too. They also keep cups from cracking when they heat up after you pour hot beverages in. You probably noticed that little dot next to the camera on an iPhone and probably thought it was a flash. Nope, not a flash, but a microphone in charge of catching sounds when you're using the back camera. Next time you're looking for a quick bite and decide for fries at McDonald's, check that bendable flap near the top of the box. Some like to bend it towards the fries. That way you can cover your fries up and keep them warm. But if you're not that patient, you can flip the flap backward and basically turn it into a makeshift plate for your fries. Just bend it down firmly enough. You don't want it to spring back up and spread the sauce all over you. Take it from me, it's messy. In the 1970s, people didn't want toothpaste just to keep their mouths healthy, but also to freshen their breath. Aquafresh decided to answer that call, so they added a blue stripe to their product. Since consumers started paying more attention to their teeth and gums, the company added a third red stripe to their paste. The paste now has 3 functions: freshening, cleaning, and plaque control. And yes, solid white toothpaste can offer the same benefits, but brands continue to add stripes to their paste anyway. Speaking of toothpaste, do you know those colors on the bottom of tubes? The colors don't mean anything in particular. They're there to help in the manufacturing by telling light sensors where the end of the tube is. Thanks to it, the machine can cut and seal the tube properly. Hand sanitizers are commonplace nowadays, and you can apply them in many other ways besides just cleaning your hands. It also works great when you want to remove stains from your clothes. Sanitizer breaks up oily, greasy spillages and does a great job as a degreaser. You can even use it as a deodorant if you get caught out on a hot day. The bottom of the bottle mostly has a small, odd-shaped notch. It's called a deco lug, and without it, your bottle wouldn't look the way it does now. Such bottles are mass-produced in factories using machinery, and each of them looks the same. Since plastic bottles mostly needed artwork on them, manufacturers wanted to make sure the artwork always gets printed in the same position for each bottle. So they invented the deco lug, short for decorating lug. It actually holds each bottle at the same orientation in the machine that applies the artwork. Without it, workers would have to watch the whole process and adjust the bottles by hand.
If you have a cat, congratulations on living with an adorable little creature. Ahem. I mean a vicious top carnivore. As much as cats like to pretend they're the rulers of the roost, stealing beds from Great Danes 10 times their size and knocking over expensive vases, to us, they're just ridiculously funny and precious fluffy kittens. So don't tell your cat I told you this, but there's actually something very cute and hilarious on the bottom of its paws. If you look at the pads of their feet upside down, the heel pad looks a lot like a person's nose. It's even funnier if you picture the fur around the pad as a bushy mustache. If you look at a map of Australia for a long time, you might start to think the shape reminds you of something. What is it? Try to see it before I tell you. Can you put a finger on it? Picture it like this. The two peaks in the north around the Gulf of Carpentaria are ears. The western curve is a snout, and the eastern curve is a neck. The island down below, which is Tasmania, even has a tag, like that on a dog's collar. Do you see it now? Yeah, Australia looks strangely like an outline of a dog. The FedEx logo might seem simple at first, just the company name and nothing else. But once you've looked closer and spotted a hidden detail, it's impossible not to think, that's clever. In the negative space between the E and the X, there is actually an arrow pointing to the right. The logo's designer said that the arrow could hint at the direction, speed, and precision. The clever use of the negative space has won the logo several awards. It was even included in the list of 20 designs that define the modern world. It was called one of the happiest accidents in the history of graphic design. Because it was, in fact, an accident, the designer said farthest from our minds was the idea of an arrow. It wasn't even noticed until the design firm had developed over 400 versions of the logo. But that's not surprising, because it's said that perhaps less than 1 in 5 people find the hidden arrow without it being pointed out to them. Did you see it before I told you? That's not the only example of an arrow hiding where you might not see it. On exit signs, there's also a negative space arrow in between the E and X. That's surely a fun little detail you can point out to your friends next time you see an exit sign at a college or a movie theater. But there's actually something more interesting about these helpful signs. Have you ever seen the kind of exit signs that are mounted on clear glass? They're very common in office buildings and schools. But how could they possibly say the word exit in the correct direction on both sides, even though they're see-through? Shouldn't one side be read backward? Well, actually, what's happening here is a clever optical illusion. It's not clear glass at all, but instead, it's a mirror. There's an opaque lens between the two sides, so you can't see through to the other side at all. The reason why this goes unnoticed is because of where the signs are usually mounted. Up high, near the ceiling of office buildings, there's no chance of catching your own reflection or something else that would give it away. Plus, the ceiling walls tend to be very monotonous, with tile patterns that look the same on both sides. As you move, your perspective keeps the reflection lined up with what you'd expect to see on the other side. But next time you see an exit sign that appears clear, look closer. You'll see that the tiles or molding won't line up perfectly, giving away this clever trick of the eye. Pom-poms on beanies and other hats might just look like fluffy decorations, but they were put there for a smart reason that had nothing to do with looks. Rumor has it that French sailors developed the idea to wear hats with pom-poms so that they wouldn't hurt their heads. During bad weather, their ships would rock and jerk suddenly, so hitting your head on the low ceilings was a big issue. Sewing pom-poms to the tops of their hats was like adding a soft cushion to protect them from knocks and bumps. Have you looked closely at your coins? Many are ridged along the edges, and there's a reason for this. ridge patterns on coins are a relic of the past when precious metal coins would be just as valuable as metal as they were as currency. Remember, some of them were actually made of silver and gold. That's why some sneaky rogues would shave off the edges of coins and use that metal to mint new coins. After that, they would spend the shaved coins as usual. So, the ridges were added so it would be obvious that someone had shaved off parts of a coin. Speaking of coins, there's a subtle pattern on English ones that most people don't pay attention to. On the 6 small coins, there are patterns that don't seem to mean anything, but when you lay them out in the right order. With the 5-pence coin in the center, you'll see the full picture, which is one big crest. You can also see the whole crest on the pound coin, but it's much more fun to put the puzzle together yourself, isn't it? The Toblerone chocolate bar originated in a city called Bern in Switzerland. It's also known as the City of Bears, which explains why the branding of the triangular treat is designed with a sneaky secret. You'll barely believe that you never noticed it before. The logo at first glance appears to be a simple mountain, but it has another image hidden within it. In the negative space, there's a bear rearing up on its hind legs. Now that you see it, you'll notice it every time you reach for the candy bar for your sweet fix. On that sugary note, there's another chocolate logo with a detail most people won't spot. If you flip a package of Hershey's Kisses on its side, you'll notice there's a hidden shape of a kiss in between the K and the I. The K was specifically designed to curve in the same way the chocolates do. I bet that you wouldn't have spent a lot of time looking closely at your screwdriver and wrench, but if you have, you might have noticed that the shape of the handle of a screwdriver and the inside of a wrench are often the same, and that's on purpose. A lot of screwdrivers can be easily slid through a wrench so that they can be used to create more torque. If a screw is particularly stubborn, this secret design gives you much more force to turn it. This feature is especially helpful at complicated heights and angles. If your handy DIY friends haven't already noticed this, now is your chance to impress them with your eagle eye. Okay, right now, picture toothpaste in your mind. Imagine squeezing some out of the tube onto your brush. You're picturing it with blue, white, and red stripes, aren't you? Those stripes are so common that they're pretty much synonymous with the concept of toothpaste. But the truth is, there's no real reason for them. In the 1970s, the purpose of brushing your teeth changed a bit. Cleaning your mouth wasn't the only point anymore. People wanted something in the toothpaste to freshen their breath too. The first toothpaste companies answered the call by adding a blue stripe to their paste to show that it could do both. After people began paying more attention to the health of their gums, brands added a third, red stripe to show that their paste had triple action: cleaning, freshening, and plaque control. Even though solid white toothpaste offers the same benefits and the different colors aren't necessary, companies keep adding stripes to their paste because it still sells. When the founders of Baskin Robbins, who were fittingly named Bert Baskin and Irv Robbins, first started in the sweet treats industry, each of them opened up his own shop. But being brothers-in-law, they quickly decided to join forces. And when they did, their shop had a unique selling point. They offered 31 flavors. This way, visitors could theoretically come back each day of the month and try a new flavor. The 31 flavors became an integral part of the company's roots, and to this day, there's a hidden reference to it in their logo. It's number 31 inside the B and R of the Baskin Robbins logo. Even with the numbers in a different color, the clever design hides this secret so well that you probably haven't noticed it until now. But I understand if you were paying more attention to your ice cream than the brand's graphic design. Whether it's something as simple as a button on your jeans or something that's part of a larger moving mechanism, here are 26 secrets to everyday things you probably didn't know about. You use doorknobs every day, so it's right to be concerned about how many germs could be on them. However, they have made doorknobs out of brass partly for that reason. Brass provides an antimicrobial effect, eliminating the microorganisms that were hoping to start a colony on your doorknob. Your pants have that 1/5 pocket that's recognized as the small useless one. Originally, it was there to provide a safe place for your pocket watch, something that was necessary when first implemented in 1901. It then continued to remain for traditional purposes. However, it's still a great place to put your Tic Tacs. You've probably mistaken those little rivets on your jeans as some form of fashion statement, similar to the small pocket. In fact, they're incredibly important. They are there to provide extra support for areas that withstand the most strenuous parts of your clothing, preventing them from embarrassingly falling apart. That little button at the end of your seatbelt seems like it's way out of place. In fact, it's there to ensure your buckle will always remain at the end, so you won't have to awkwardly fiddle with your seatbelt every time you put it on. You're in a new car or a rental, and the gauge tells you the gas is getting low. You don't know which side the fuel cap is on from the inside. It can cause unnecessary effort at the gas station. However, your fuel gauge has an arrow that reminds you which side to fill your gas tank up from. Some models of cars may also have a gas tank hose instead, with the hose pictured on the side that the cap is on. Hiking and walking through snow requires the best kind of footwear. The shoes which are perfect for this also have an extra eyelet for your lace to loop through. Looping your laces through the extra eyelets will give more support for your ankles and feet and will provide more stability as you walk. But as you walk, blisters are also a concern. The sweat in your shoe creates friction between the feet and the shoe, which then helps create the blisters. Antiperspirant that you use for your armpits will help keep the feet from sweating. Just make sure you use the clear one. Cooking for people is always nice. However, sometimes the guests are late. Yep, we're all guilty of that sometimes, right? The extra drawer under your oven, where you've been keeping all of your spare pots and pans, was actually made to keep your food warm. Great for those who are late to the meal. Ever wondered how long that padlock could possibly last when it's outside, in the rainy weather, keeping your bike safe? It has a little hole at the bottom of it. It's there to drain water to avoid corrosion on the inside. It also serves to provide oil, further prolonging its use. That hole in the elevator door isn't there to check who's inside so you can avoid sharing a ride with specific people. It's a keyhole in case it breaks down. Ketchup, sauce bottles, and all other condiments we love all have a stage when it's difficult to get the insides out. You try hitting it, shaking it, and poking things inside to encourage the tasty condiments to come out. Luckily, there is an easier way to do it. The label at the top suggests where to tap the bottle. The sauce will come out easier and smoother, allowing gravity to take the place of frustration. The purpose of wooden coat hangers is to help repel pesky insects and avoid fungal growth that eats away at your clothing. As it's made of cedar wood, it contains oils that have insecticidal and fungicidal properties and were used as far back as the ancient Egyptians, although they used it for other purposes. We've all been trained and tested at the art of typing and know the correct way to use a keyboard. But you may not have noticed that the F and J keys have a small ridge at the bottom. They're there to help you find your correct starting place with your fingers on the keyboard, without having to look down. If you've been lucky enough to get the window seat on the plane, you would have noticed that little hole at the bottom of the window. It helps with the air pressure on the plane. The window itself is made from acrylic and isn't actually glass, which saves it from fogging up so you can see the scenery on your journey. The windows on planes were originally square. However, they would continuously break from the constant changes in pressure. Round windows are able to evenly distribute the pressure, ensuring you'll have a pleasant journey without falling out. For all you Nintendo Switch players, those who have tried to taste your cartridges will notice they have a bitter taste. The manufacturers added it intentionally, as the Switch's cartridge size is very small and it might be a hazard for the youngest players that have a tendency to put things in their mouth that they shouldn't. So the bitter taste made from denatonium benzoate ensures that they won't be tasted for too long. Cosmetics containers that are filled with products used for your skin have a secret number on them. This is to help inform you how long the product will be usable, ensuring it doesn't cause the reverse effect by damaging your skin instead. Pen lids have a hole at the end of them. It's not there to help your pen breathe and boost performance, but it's there to help you breathe. Just in case while you're sitting in class or at work and you're chewing on your lid and just happen to swallow it, you can be rest assured if it's stuck, the pen makers were thinking of you. When you're traveling by car or any other form of ground transportation and you're trying to drink your favorite pop from a straw, you'll find it quite difficult to do at times. Simply turn the tab on the can around so that your straw easily fits inside, making it easier to drink out of. There are always spare buttons when buying new clothes, along with a little bit of fabric. It's far too small to repair that crutch part that always rips first. The fabric is actually there for you to test how to wash it, so you don't accidentally ruin your brand new clothes. Determining how much pasta you need just for yourself can be difficult to figure out. Your big spaghetti spoon with the big hole on the inside, that looks like it's there to drain water, is actually there so you can put the uncooked pasta inside before cooking, so you know exactly how much you need. New shoes always come with those strange little packets. That's silica gel. The gels are there to reduce the moisture in the air to avoid any fungal growth while the shoes were waiting to be purchased. There's a lot of chemistry involved to get you that silica, and it's very effective, capable of absorbing 50% of the humidity. So make sure you don't throw it away. Next time you need to dry out your electrical devices, it's a lot easier than using rice. It's difficult enough to see at night whilst driving, but it's even worse when the driver behind you shines their high beams. Your rearview mirror has a tab at the bottom. When you press it, it changes the angle. One is for day driving, the other, well, for nighttime. It'll help in case that one person driving behind you has forgotten to turn off their high beams. Although your screwdriver is ergonomically made for your hand, sometimes you have that one screw that's too hard to loosen up. The handle is also shaped so you can easily fit inside of a ring spanner or wrench, allowing you to apply more force, ensuring that you can remove that troublesome screw. The skirt part on an escalator seems like a good spot to get your foot stuck, but in reality, those long brushes poking out aren't there to give you an extra shine on your shoes, but for safety precautions, to minimize the risk of trapping objects between the steps and the side of the escalator.
Have you ever stopped to think about the thrilling secrets of day-to-day modern life on planet Earth? I'm talking about tiny windows in washing machines and little holes in airplane windows. If you haven't got a clue of what I'm talking about, tag along and allow yourself to be as surprised as I was when I found out. Remember the drawer at the bottom of your oven? Maybe you've been ignoring it all along or using it to store pots and pans. Well, even though it can serve this function, that's not the only thing it's there for. The best way to use the bottom drawer is to keep your meal heated while you're waiting to serve it. Genius, right? Talking about secret doors, have you noticed that most washing machines have little flap doors at the bottom too? These doors actually serve as drain traps. It's where all the items that we put to wash together with our jeans and jackets go to. It's a type of collector, let's say, of small items. It stops them from getting into the main drain pipes and clogging them. It saves us hundreds of dollars in repairs each month. Now, who hasn't gone through the confusing task of having to measure how much pasta to cook for one serving? Well, here's the solution: the holes in the center of pasta spoons. They were actually made for measuring the exact amount of dry pasta you need for one serving. If you try stuffing wet cooked pasta through it, well, good luck with that. On a similar topic, have you ever wondered why pen caps have holes in them? Maybe you thought it was a design feature to regulate air pressure. But in reality, these holes have a much simpler and more important function: to reduce the risk of choking. Now, lots of people love to bite on their caps, and this tiny hole prevents them from choking in case they accidentally swallow a cap and it gets stuck in their throat. For kitchen lovers, there's a hidden secret right in front of your eyes that can change your life. Think pans. Now think handles. Right, they have holes in them. As it turns out, these holes were designed to hold the spoon you're using for cooking. And instead of dripping sauce all over the stove or your kitchen floor, you can place the spoon in the hole and let it drip the sauce directly back into the pan. Woohoo! Speaking of everyday items, and most doorknobs are made of brass because this material makes them naturally germ-free. Unlike plastic ones, brass doorknobs are kind of magical. They can disinfect themselves without you having to clean them. Neat, right? Have you ever noticed that at the bottom of a measuring tape there is a little dip? You can find it in that metallic part you need to pull on to measure something. Well, that dip is actually the exact size of a regular nail. It was designed for people to place the tape on top of a nail and use it as a support while they stretch the tape. Well, I can't wait to try it out for myself. As for the margins in your notebook, they were invented to protect people's notes from mice. No, the mice weren't copying your answers for the math quiz. Actually, there were times when people had to cohabitate with rats and mice that often chewed on paper. So, to prevent information from getting completely lost, people created margins. This way, texts were moved closer to the middle of pages and remained unharmed by rodents. Perhaps this is where to digest information came from. And what about those tiny holes at the bottom of airplane windows? They have an extremely important function of regulating the air pressure inside the cabin. In other words, they help planes fly high up in the sky. Big responsibility, right? By the way, tray tables on an airplane are the germiest places inside the entire cabin. Studies showed that the trays had 8 times the amount of germs on the toilet flush button. Now, how about we cut a commercial airplane in half and see what's inside? Well, it would look more or less like this: rows of seats on top and everything else that needs to be stored at the bottom. I'm talking about passengers' luggage, emergency supplies, parts of the wing system, and so on. Moving on to bowling balls. Yes, I know it's a clumsy transition. Anyway, have you ever wondered what the insides of a bowling ball look like? If you have cut a professional ball in two, you'll see a familiar shape. Look closely. Do you see it? Doesn't that look like the logo of Brightside? Anyway, professional bowling balls are different from the ones in your local bowling alley. That's because they're designed to make fancy moves. They actually have some really complex engineering inside. They're shaped to help skilled professionals get more strikes. The weight of professional bowling balls is designed to be projected inward as they travel down the bowling lane. This makes it harder for them to get into the gutters on the sides of the lane. Speaking of balls, let's take a look inside a baseball. To make it light and aerodynamic, producers use several different layers. Starting from the core, we have a cork center enveloped by black rubber. Then there's a layer of red rubber, followed by 2 or 3 alternating layers of wool yarn. After that, there's a visible white leather cover and that beautiful red seam on the side, stitching it all together. And what if you had X-ray vision and managed to look inside a human bone? Ooh, spooky! I'd say what calls most attention is this spiderweb-like situation at the center of the bone. In reality, it's a highly condensed and complex structure of nerves that you have inside your bones. Aren't you lucky? Now, I've got a riddle for you. What is round, can be found near the ocean, and looks like an aerial view of the Guggenheim Museum in New York City, the one that's made almost entirely of ramps? If you said a nautilus shell, hey, then you guessed right. A nautilus is a shellfish whose house you can find in countless souvenir stores near the beach. It's made up of 2 layers, a matte white outer layer and an iridescent white inner layer. And if you were to cut it in half, it would look very similar to the insides of the Guggenheim Museum. Aloe leaves are good for healing purposes and also for hydration. But if you managed to look inside of an aloe leaf, the image you'd see would be satisfying and very relaxing. Who hasn't dreamed of a pool filled with jelly? Now, there seems to be nothing more mundane and regular than a tube of toothpaste. But you wouldn't think so if you cut open a tube that contains several colors. Now, there have been speculations that the insides of such a toothpaste tube might be divided by barriers so that the stripes don't mix. But if you cut it in half, you'll see that it has only one interior chamber. As it happens, there's a lot of science behind the making of striped toothpaste. According to a specialist, they have to ensure that the paste in all the stripes has the same physical properties. This way, the colors are naturally prevented from mixing with one another. That's why, if you tear a tube open, you'll see something that looks like several slices of pizza in different colors. If you open your closet, you're bound to find at least a few wooden hangers. Usually, they're made of cedar wood, which is a natural moth repellent. So, cedar hangers actually protect your clothes from moth infestation. For some people, more than others, eyeliner is an everyday must. Boy, isn't it. But did you know that back in ancient Egyptian times, both men and women used kohl eyeliners to protect their eyes from the sun's glare? Way to go for the Egyptians for figuring that out. Now, if I could just learn to walk like one. Normally, we use headrests for the purpose of, well, resting our heads, right? Well, not only. As it turns out, headrests can be easily removed from the seats and used to break car windows in case of emergencies. Now, this one is a trick very few people know about. You probably place your doormat horizontally, like most of us do. But doormats serve the purpose of absorbing dirt from the soles of your shoes before you enter your home. So, for this function to work as it's meant to, the best way to place a doormat is vertically. This way, you take more steps on the top of the doormat before entering your house. And last but not least, now I don't want to be accusatory here, but you have probably been vacuuming your house the wrong way, and I can prove it. Most people just vacuum floors and carpets in one direction or move the brush back and forth several times, thinking they've got all the dust out. But according to cleaning professionals, the best way to vacuum is in rows. First, you go forward with the brush until you arrive at the end of the row. Then, you fluff the carpet up and move back down along the same row, gathering the dust that wasn't collected in the first sweep. Talk about efficient cleaning. On the other hand, my idea of house cleaning is to sweep the room with a glance. Hey, I don't want to disturb that protective layer of dust. Pouring milk into your tea or coffee can make a mess if you don't do it the right way. If you want to pour it with the opening closer to the cup, stop right there, turn it to the other side, and then pour. The flow will be much smoother this way, and you won't have to deal with wiping the table afterwards. Hey, I'm bossy. Get over it. It's all about the physics of it. If you turn the carton's opening toward the cup and the carton is full, while the milk's escaping through the opening, the air from the outside will try to get inside the carton to fill the empty space. Since there's only one place where it can do that, the air will push the milk back and disrupt the flow. When you turn the carton to the other side, there will be empty space along with the top side of the carton, and the air will have it easier getting inside. So the flow will be steady, and you won't have that annoying spurting anymore. Now, the handrails are usually moving faster than the escalator itself, because the gear wheels that drive the handrails are intentionally made a bit larger than required. The rubber on those wheels tends to wear off with time, so if the handrails are moving at the same speed as the steps or even slower, then you're riding a rather old escalator. Now, speaking of escalators, and I was, at subway stations with 3 or more of them, the majority will be going in a different direction depending on the time of day. For example, in the city center, there will be 2 or more escalators going up in the morning and down in the evening, and vice versa at the outskirts. This is done to make it easier for passengers to get around. Most people only work downtown while living far from the center, so they go to work in the morning and find more escalators moving in the direction they need. How convenient! If you were ever worried about how the pilots find their way in the dark when landing at night, well, you can rest easy now. There's an incredibly complex illumination system on the ground that helps the crew navigate the airplane. And it's not just the red and white lights along the runway. The lights actually start popping up long before the runway, so that the pilots can easily find their way, and different patterns mean different things, which your captain and their co-pilot know by heart. Every commercial airplane you've been on has only one wing. The first airplanes were called biplanes because they had two wings, one on the top and the other going through the bottom of the fuselage. They were connected with struts and wires, which made kind of a box that basically allowed the craft not to fall apart in the air. How thoughtful. It was necessary at lower speeds than earlier planes could only muster, but as the engines increased in power, the second wing became redundant and repetitive. The single wing still serves as a support for the whole structure, though. Going 100 miles an hour on an interstate makes you feel the drive and excitement of speed. Flying at nearly 600 miles per hour makes you drowsy at best. This is because you don't feel the actual speed of anything. You can only see how fast you're moving relative to other objects. The closer, the faster. In a car, everything's close to you, so you see trees, people, houses, witches, porcupines, and other cars zapping past you. On board a plane, everything's so far away that it seems to go at a snail's pace. Now, take a good look at your smartphone. It might never have occurred to you, but its rectangular shape is no accident. And it's actually what you want it to be. Rectangle is the most convenient shape for a screen. It has an orientation, so you can flip your phone all you want and it will adapt. Imagine that with, say, a round-shaped display, you'd have to always turn it in your hands until the top is where it belongs. Oy. Next, it fits into your pocket nice and cozy. The pocket is deeper than it is wide, so a phone longer than it is broad will sit there perfectly. A square or circular phone will be more of an inconvenience. Then again, a rectangle is much easier to handle. It fits in your palm, and it feels better than a circle or a square. And finally, we're used to having rectangular things all around us. Pictures, sheets of paper, books, SpongeBob, photographs. Having round-shaped screens would have been just weird. Still, there have been attempts to create circular and square smartphones, but as you can guess, they didn't catch on. Taking photos in the dark with a flash, you must have noticed your smartphone flashes several times before making the actual shot. Remember those horrid red eyes in old photographs made on film or digital cameras? That happened exactly because the camera flashed only once. In the dark, the pupils of your eyes become larger, trying to catch more light to see better. And when they reflect the camera's flash, the red eye effect appears. With smartphones, the first short flash makes the pupils contract from bright light, and only then the device takes a shot, and you don't resemble a horror movie creature anymore. Oh. There are two main reasons why there are no public bathrooms in the subway: safety and financing. They're ridiculously expensive to maintain, so I guess we won't be seeing many of such cabins where they weren't before. And the second reason is security concern, since there can be no cameras installed in the bathroom and any kind of suspicious activity would go unnoticed. It seems only natural that a vehicle that carries so much more people than a car should have seatbelts, but buses have none, even school ones. In fact, it has to do with several things at once. First of all, in case of emergency, passengers need to get off a bus as fast as possible. With seatbelts on, they'll waste precious time on unbuckling them. Secondly, a bus is a big and heavy vehicle. On the road, there are not many other members of the traffic that weigh more than a public bus. So, in case of a collision, a bus would stop much slower than a car, and even though its passengers will certainly feel the impact, they normally won't get hurt as much. That's also the reason why passengers are allowed to ride standing, too. If your hotel has card keys with magnetic strips, make sure you put your card key apart from your cell phone and wallet. The problem is that card keys are rewritten quite a lot, and they're designed for that process to be quick and easy. So, a fairly strong magnet, like the one in your cell phone, can erase your key card, and you won't be able to get back inside your room. The hotel will surely provide you with a new card, but that's still inconvenient. If you're struggling to get your taco shells to stay in place, use a muffin tray. Flip the tray upside down, spray it with oil, and place your tortillas in the gap. Cook them for around 10 minutes at 700 degrees for the perfect crispy taco shell. Now I'm getting hungry. You? Looking for a lost earring or pin on the floor? Place a stocking over the end of your vacuum and move it over the floor. The small object will get picked up without getting vacuumed. It helps to turn the vacuum on while attempting this. Candle wax that's been spilled on furniture can be removed with ice cubes. Rather than ruining the finish by trying to scrape it off, fill a plastic bag with ice and let it sit on the wax for a few minutes. The wax will then cool and harden, making it much easier to pick off. Crayon marks on the walls are a parent's worst nightmare, but you can use a hairdryer to get them off. Heat the marks for just a few seconds to soften the wax, and then you should be able to just wipe it away. You can use hair conditioner to make that new wool sweater less itchy. Just soak it in lukewarm water with a couple of tablespoons of conditioner and leave it for 15 minutes. Then just dry it and your sweater will be much softer. That layer of bubbles that forms when you add bubble bath to your tub isn't just for fun. The bubbly layer also acts as insulation and keeps your bath warmer for longer. Next time you're getting ready for work, take a closer look at your go-to shirt. Every buttonhole is stitched vertically, but check out the very last hole. It's stitched horizontally, right? This is because the bottom part of your shirt endures the most stress from pulling, as it's where your hips are. So that horizontal buttonhole isn't a mistake. It's put there to stop your shirt ripping as your hips move. Hey, those hips don't lie. That random diamond on your backpack is called a lash tab or pig snout. It's there so you can thread cords through the holes to carry extra gear. Perfect for camping or long hikes. If you put your Chinese takeout on a plate when it arrives, you're doing more work than you should. Much like the paper condiment pots in fast food restaurants, your cardboard Chinese takeout box can be unfolded to create the perfect sized plate for your food. That hole in your hollow lollipop stick isn't to prevent choking should it ever be swallowed. It's actually there to keep the candy in place. Excess candy flows into the hollow tube and the hole, which, when it hardens, keeps the pop in place. If it was a smooth stick, the candy would slide off easily. Some skyscrapers have hollow floors that contain nothing but an elevator and some complex machinery. They're called technical floors, and developers say they're there to maintain the building's proper functioning. But it's also a way to get around height limits. Some skyscrapers are given a limit to the number of floors they can have. Because the technical floors are non-residential, they add to the height of the building and make it look more impressive without increasing the number of floors and breaking the building contract. These floors can also help to prevent the spread of fires. If you look closely at an elevator door, you'll notice a tiny hole. This is actually a keyhole used for emergencies or for routine maintenance checks. If you get stuck in an elevator, the technician will be able to get you out of there by using their master key. Salt isn't just used for cooking. It can get rid of tough smells, like this. Whew! Rubbing salt on your fingertips after chopping garlic should remove the smell. It also works on shoes. Toasters have a secret slide in the bottom that can be removed so you can clean out all those annoying breadcrumbs. Now, take a look at your laptop keyboard. There are bumps on the F and J keys, but nowhere else. When your fingers are in the optimal typing position, your index finger should rest on these two keys. The bumps have been added so that you can correctly position your hands for typing without looking at your keyboard. Washing your clothes on a low heat or even better, a cold wash, will make them last twice as long. Drying them on a line, if possible, will also make the material last longer than if you used a dryer. The less you wash them, the less they'll fade and shrink over time. It'll also save you on your energy bills. Blank pages in the books aren't actually made for the author's signature. It's all about the manufacturing process. Books are printed on large sheets, so one sheet can fit 4 printed pages. If a book has an odd quantity of printed pages, chances are you'll get a blank one for notes. Tree cart loops have more functions than you think. You don't want to put your fancy white jacket in a cart next to carrots and Coke. This little hook-like thingy helps organize all the stuff in your cart better, so you can enjoy your shopping trip. Works for me. A good doorknob is one made of brass, bronze, or some copper alloys. These metals have an anti-germ effect. Bacteria spread way slower on them. They also get rid of germs pretty fast, within a couple of hours. There's only one way you can store your peanut butter right. If you place it the regular way, it may get a bit solid before long. The trick is to store it upside down, so the oils don't stay on the bottom all the time and distribute evenly. My dog loves peanut butter. How about yours? Whatever coffee shop you go to, all the disposable cups look exactly the same, only the logo changes. The secret here is the special shape that lets you enjoy your drink easily. The top is always wider, which allows it to accommodate your nose while you're drinking, and the bottom is always narrower, so that anyone can hold it easier, even if the hand is quite small. This width difference also allows the cups to stack. Spoiled milk emits gases, like most foods when they go bad, or me. A classic plastic milk jug has a concave shape on one side, so when the gases expand inside the jug, it expands too, and the concave shape curves out. Also, if you want to save some milk for later and freeze it, the jug will expand when the milk gets solid as well, occupying more space in a jug. Almost all measuring tapes have a metal tip with a small slot on the end. You can use this slot to hang the tape on a nail or a screw to make measurements without anyone's help. Sometimes this tip has a row of sharp points along the edge on one side. It comes in handy when you want to leave a mark without using a pencil. If you've ever tried a Nintendo cartridge to taste, you'll confirm that they taste revolting, leaving a sour, bitterish aftertaste in your mouth. Well, we tried to tell you. They're covered with denatonium benzoate, one of the most disgusting flavors known. Not normally seen in ice cream stores either. Actually, this taste has a righteous function. It prevents people from swallowing those cartridges. Rough edges on the dimes aren't just about design. The coins used to be made of precious metals to show their real value. People would shave off the edges, spending the shaven coins with the same value and melt the edges to new coins. To avoid it, minters added that pattern so people could tell if someone cut that coin before. A triple handle on a jerry can is there to make it easier for 2 people to carry it and distribute the fuel evenly. Lemons get juicier if you warm them up a little bit in the microwave. The heat softens the frozen membranes, so the juice can flow out freely. The result? More lemonade for you. The expiration date on mineral water isn't about water going bad. Actually, no water can spoil, but the bottle can. Over time, it starts leaking some chemicals that aren't quite safe. Okay, here's a science project to try. Tonic water can be fluorescent in UV black light. It contains quinine, which makes it both bitter and glowing. The color of plates and cups can affect your food perception. A group of 57 volunteers drank hot chocolate out of different cups, but most people claim the orange cup hot chocolate was the best. Red color plates are cool for those on a diet. It looks alarming, so you end up eating less. Okay, I'm gonna go do the tonic water black light thing. Bye! Look at this emoji. Many people use it as an angry face to show they're mad. But originally, this emoji was called Look of Triumph. It was supposed to indicate that a person has succeeded in something. Now, so many people have been using this emoji in a different way, the new meaning is also acceptable. Many people use these folded hands to beg for something. In reality, this is a gesture of forgiveness used by Japanese people. To some Americans, it also means a high five. Some people think this emoji is blowing a kiss, but in reality, it's not. The kissing emoji looks the same, but has a little heart near its lips. As for this one, this emoji is actually whistling. This emoji has many meanings, but boredom isn't one of them. It stands for either skepticism or irritation, but in most cases, it's just a side eye. Unlike what many people think, it's not a face screaming in shock. It's a face screaming in fear. It's not a ballerina. It's a person making the OK gesture. You might have been using this emoji to show some sass, but originally it was meant to be way simpler. It was just an information desk person. You probably use it as the peace sign, but initially this emoji was supposed to mean victory. Now, forget about emojis. There are many more things in life that can be done in a more effective way than people usually do. For example, eating an apple. Most people eat this fruit side to side, but this way 30% of it gets wasted. A much better way is to start from the bottom and work all the way to the top, spitting the seeds in the process. To prevent your taco from breaking and stop the food from falling down, wrap it in a cabbage leaf. It'll hold everything in place, and you'll enjoy all the parts of your taco without wasting any food. If you want to have some iced coffee, don't put any ice made of water in your cup. This will make your drink taste watery, especially when the ice melts. Instead, freeze some coffee and make coffee ice cubes. Use them to make your drink cold. Instead of stirring a cup of coffee or tea in a circular motion, use back and forth movements. This reduces the number of splashes and the amount of the beverage that ends up on the table. Also, it looks way more elegant. You can easily prevent your juice from splashing while you're pouring it into a glass. Instead of pouring it straight from the opening, flip the juice carton around. This way, the flow will be much smoother and the juice won't be spilling all over the place. If you want to know how to peel a banana in the most effective way, watch a monkey. You'll notice that the animal peels it not from the top to the bottom, but from the bottom to the top. This way, you won't squeeze the fruit. There's no need to damage your nails trying to open a pistachio nut. Instead, just use the shell of another one. Put it in the little hole and turn it around. Pink sushi ginger isn't meant to be used as a topping. You're supposed to eat this ginger in between taking bites of your sushi rolls. It'll help you distinguish the unique taste of each of them. When eating a pizza, fold its pieces a little bit to create a U shape. This way, it'll be easier to munch on it. If you're going to drink out of a soda can, you better use a straw. The top part of the can has many bacteria on it. If you drink your soda by raising the can to your lips, they'll get into your mouth. Also, if you drink soda without a straw, your teeth are more exposed to the sweet drink. It leads to a higher risk of cavities and the appearance of dark stains on your teeth. Any soda has a hole in its pull tab. After opening the can, turn the tab around and put the straw into the hole. This way, your straw will remain in place. To cut bread more easily, turn it upside down and start from the bottom. Don't neglect washing your feet thoroughly when taking a shower. The foamy water sliding down your legs is not enough. Dermatologists say you should scrub your feet every day to prevent the spread of bacteria. Another thing most people forget about is washing the back of the neck. This body part can sweat a lot, especially if you have long hair that covers it. Opt for washing your hair before moving to your body. Hair conditioner that isn't properly washed off can cause skin problems. So first, wash your hair, apply the conditioner, soap yourself up, and then rinse off the conditioner and body wash at the same time. After taking a shower, don't leave your loofah sponge lying out there. The moisture in the bathroom makes bacteria on the loofah spread faster. Take your sponge and let it dry outside. Also, make sure to wash it in a washing machine once a week. Try to avoid brushing your teeth right after a meal. It damages the enamel, protective layer covering your teeth. In the morning, consider brushing your teeth before breakfast. If you want to do it after your meal, then first rinse your mouth with water, then wait for about 40 minutes before getting down to brushing your teeth. Brushing your hair from top to bottom can damage it. You should first gently brush the ends of your hair and slowly work your way up to the top. Bobby pins are supposed to be worn with the wavy side facing down. This way they'll hold your hair better. Some earrings have transparent plastic pieces attached to the part that fixes the earring to your ear. You're supposed to remove these pieces before putting the accessory on for the first time. To open tough plastic packaging, just use a can opener. Don't store glasses upside down. The rim of a glass is its most fragile part. When you put it upside down, it carries the weight of the whole glass. With time, the glass is more likely to break. After cooking, many people wait for the food to cool down a bit before putting it in the fridge. But in reality, nothing bad will happen either to your food or to the fridge, even if you put a plate with something hot inside. It's even better because it's not safe to keep most dishes out of the fridge for too long. Instead of cleaning a dirty blender by scrubbing and washing it with your hands, just fill it with water, add some soap, and press start. It'll wash itself perfectly. Just don't forget to put the lid on, or you'll wash your face too. Never refill a plastic bottle. The material they're made of contains a dangerous chemical called BPA. It leaches into the water and grows harmful bacteria in the cracks of the bottle. It's better to buy a reusable water bottle. If you want to cross out a word so that it's not readable anymore, don't use straight lines. That'll leave the text visible. Instead, write some other letter or curls over the word that you want to hide. This way, it'll be next to impossible to figure out what was written there. It's better to apply deodorant at night before going to bed. At this time, your body is less likely to sweat. Don't apply it right after the shower, though. Deodorant works more effectively when applied on dry skin. You don't need to keep a pile of printed manuals that go together with your gadgets. Just go to the company's website, find your product, and download its digital manual to your computer. While packing, roll your clothes. It'll save you a lot of space. If you want to keep your hands clean when eating some extra cheesy snacks or chips, try eating them with chopsticks. The best way to freeze ice cream, if you want it soft, is to put the container in a Ziploc bag and only after that into the freezer. The bag will also prevent your ice cream from absorbing the freezer smell. Now, don't blame that little lump on your computer cable for getting stuck somewhere for the umpteenth time. The cylinder, shapes and colors may vary, actually prevents interference from other signals, like those your phone emits. A lack of privacy in public bathrooms, I mean those large gaps beneath where normal doors tend to be, is there for a reason. This way, people do their business faster and there are fewer lines. Also, if something goes wrong, it's easy to find a person who needs help. In London, there are some poles that kind of look like street lamps, but there are no bulbs. Well, their official name is stink pipes, and they're a thing of the past now. But they used to come in handy back in the 19th century. These hollow poles would vent away the air and explosive gases with bad smells to prevent, shall we say, unwanted consequences. Blank pages in the books aren't actually for the author's signature. It's all about the manufacturing process. Books are printed on large sheets, so one sheet can fit in 4 pages. If a book has an odd quantity of printed pages, chances are you'll get a blank one for notes. Now, originally, golf balls were smooth, but some time ago, players noticed that overused balls with damages flew better than brand new ones. At some point, they started producing balls with dimples. Windshield black dots help disperse the sun glaring right into your eyes. This sort of frame keeps the UV rays away, so it serves as sunglasses for your car. The tab on the rearview mirror has obvious functions. It holds your air freshener, that cute toy. But in reality, it was meant to be a tumbler between day and night mode. It reduces the glare from the car behind you, so you can't be blinded. Colored dots on chip bags aren't as useful as those on the windshield, but they have a purpose too. Manufacturers need them to control the package color and show what ink color was used on the package. No big deal. Your microwave has a silent mode. Seriously. If those beeps drive you nuts, press 1 or 0 and hold. It might work. Also, there is sometimes a silent button you kept ignoring all this time. Anyway, there are no 2 identical microwaves, so a manual should come in handy. Grocery cart loops have more functions than you think. You don't want to put your fancy white jacket in a cart next to carrots and Coke. This little hook-like thingy helps organize all the stuff in your cart better, so you can enjoy your shopping trip. Another thingy we often neglect is a point on an ointment cap. Most tubes are usually sealed with plastic film or foil, and opening it with your fingernails isn't the best idea. A point easily opens even the most safely sealed tube. Automatic lip liners and eye pencils have a sharpener installed in the package. The lid on the back part of the pencil doesn't only reveal the color, you can pull it out and sharpen up the product. Toothpicks come in different varieties, and one of them is a bit puzzling. Sometimes they have several grooves. The first one is weak, so it's easy to break the toothpick in two. The smaller section with one more groove can be used as a stand to avoid the contact with the table. You can make a makeshift stand for disposable chopsticks. They have a sort of lump at one side before you split the pair. So next time you have a sushi dinner, try breaking off that lump instead of regular splitting. When you want to take a sushi break, just place the stick on this stand. Yeah, you've heard before that a drawer beneath your oven is there for keeping the food warm if the guests are running late. Here's one more hidden function. You can slow cook on lower temperatures in that drawer too. All the bottles used to be of the same green color once. But later it was discovered that brown ones are way better at blocking UV light. Say no more. Stickers on fruit seem to provide zero information about the product. But if you look closer, you'll find some numbers that can tell you more. A 5-digit number where the first number is 9 is a good sign. You're about to buy an organic product. A 4-digit number starting with a 3 or 4 means it was conventionally farmed, and if the number starts with an 8 and there are 5 digits, well, it's best to leave it on the shelf. A dollar has its secrets too. A large letter with a rim shows which bank is responsible for issuing this bill. There are 12 banks distributing currency. For example, the L says it was printed in San Francisco. Now, some cups look like they're chipped on the bottom, but they're produced this way. In fact, these dimples are supposed to keep the cup in place on wet surfaces, and it doesn't let excess water accumulate while it's in a dishwasher. Small hollows in a chocolate box are designed for chocolate lovers. Press the closest deepening to the chocolate that you want to grab, and it'll jump out of the box right into your hand. Bath foam can be more than just a pleasant smell. It also has a sort of thermoregulatory function. The bubbles save water heat, so you can enjoy your bath a little longer. Disclaimer: it works for acrylic bathtubs only. Those made of metal lose heat fast, no matter how much foam you make. A good doorknob is one that's made of brass, bronze, or some copper alloys. These metals have an anti-germ effect. Bacteria spread way slower on them. They also get rid of germs pretty fast, within a couple of hours. Nope, it doesn't mean you don't have to wash your hands. If you pour milk or juice right onto your t-shirt every single time, you're probably not doing it right. Try pouring it from the other side of the carton. It sloshes less and is easier to control. There's only one way you can store your peanut butter right. If you place it the regular way, it may get a bit solid before long. The trick is to store it upside down so the oils don't stay on the bottom all the time and distribute evenly. A dinner jacket has small pockets above regular ones, and they're not useless. They're called ticket pockets, and were designed so that gentlemen wearing such jackets could easily access the tickets and show them on a train. They could also store cash and other small loose items in a super convenient way. Now, whatever coffee shop you go to, all the disposable cups look exactly the same, only the logo changes. The secret here is the special shape that allows you to enjoy your drink easily. The top is always wider, which allows it to accommodate your nose while you're drinking, and the bottom is always narrower, so that anyone can hold it easier, even if the hand is quite small. This width difference also allows the cups to stack. Triangular flaps on small juice cartons can help control unwanted spillage. If you flip them and use them as handles for the carton, you won't press the package, so the juice won't be squeezed uncontrollably. Now, if you have a mason jar and a blender with a screw on top, this secret is life-changing. You can actually put a mason jar directly onto the blender and make any shake you want without having to wash the blender jar. Just don't put your device on max. There's one trick you can use to make salt and pepper come out smoothly. Grab a container with pepper or salt, turn it upside down. There are ridges on the bottom of the shaker. Now grab the second container and rub those ridges together. The vibrations will make the product literally flow out. Most headphones, both wired and wireless, have little holes. They're needed to ensure good sound. The air circulates through those holes, which is important for the sound quality. Stick sachets were designed smartly. No need to tear one of its edges. The right way is to tear them down the middle. Now, you may say it's not a big difference, but at least there's less mess with those torn paper bits. If 2 zips for one section seem a bit too much for you, it's probably time you started using them wisely. It's a great pickpocket proof. You can put on a small lock on those zippers and make sure no one but you can open your backpack. Hide the key in the 5th pocket on your jeans that was originally designed to keep watches safe. So, now you know. Hey, look! Are all of the bristles on your toothbrush bent out of shape, like me? Only kidding. Well, it's time to throw it in the trash. Our mouths are full of harmful bacteria, so toothbrushes need to be replaced every 3 to 4 months if you want to have a safe and hygienic morning. Now, when's the last time you replaced your pillows or cushions? If you don't remember, it's time to put them into the bin. Every time we sleep on them, we leave behind tiny pieces of ourselves, so they don't stay clean for long. Pillows should be replaced every year or 2. While we're in the bedroom, if your mattress is more than 10 years old, it's probably time to go shopping for a new one. Over time, they can accumulate allergens like mold, mildew, dust mites, and other things you wouldn't want to sleep around. Even if you clean your mattress well, if it's nearly 10 years old, it could be home to billions of bacteria by now. Now, there's no reason to keep that menu from the pizza place you didn't like. It's time to recycle those old items. Look your favorite takeout up on the internet, and you're sure to find an easier way to order online. Unless you're planning on moving anytime soon, there's no need for all those cardboard boxes. Just imagine how much space they're all taking up. Donate them if they're in good condition, or recycle them. Remember when you last sewed on a button? If you're like most people, then it's never. Why do we always have a little bag filled with extra buttons? If you don't have the matching clothing anymore, you shouldn't keep the buttons. Pretty much everything has an expiration date, even those spices and canned soups sitting right in the back of your cupboards. It's time to toss anything that's expired. Don't forget to wipe down your shelves while they're clear too. Old receipts pile up quickly. Unless it's tax deductible, you don't need them anymore, especially if you can't even read them. As soon as it turns into a new year, it's safe to say you won't be needing that outdated calendar anytime soon. Give it the old heave-ho. Putting furniture together can drive the calmest person crazy. Unless you're planning to take it apart again, though, you'll never need the manual again. Throw it into the recycling and make your house a bit tidier. That sunscreen is so last year. Old sunscreen loses its ability to protect from the sun's rays over time, so if you don't want to turn as red as a lobster, throw it out and buy a new one. This one might sting, but it's time to say goodbye to all those DVDs. Like VHS, they're outdated. If you can stream it, you don't need physical copies anymore. Keep your favorites and get a bit of extra money for the rest. Try to play any board game with missing pieces, and you'll realize that it's not much fun anymore. Replace them with new versions and enjoy the games the way they were intended to be played. Takeout restaurants love to give more packets of ketchup than necessary, and we're always holding on to them just in case. You should have a cleanup and throw them all away. You really don't want the unfortunate surprise of finding one that's expired or, worse, leaked everywhere. Now, just because you've put expired batteries back into storage doesn't mean they'll start working again. They may be amazing, but they're not magical. Old batteries can also be dangerous, so make sure to dispose of them safely. Like the black hole in the washing machine, as where the old socks go, there's another one capturing the Tupperware container's lids. You're never going to find the lid, ever, so send it off for recycling. If you've gotten any old broken phones lying around your house, try to sell them or recycle them at your local electronics store. Unless you're an engineer, you probably won't get them working again, so it's time to let go. Most unused exercise equipment just ends up holding laundry. If you're not using it, you should sell it. It's taking up way too much space in your house and is probably quite valuable. Think of all the extra cash just sitting there. Holding on to travel brochures from trips you've already gone on doesn't make any sense. You'll never use them again, and there are far better mementos. Just enjoy the photos you have from that vacation and get prepared for the next one. You might have a bag of old Christmas cards somewhere in your house. If you do, it's time to let them go. Save any that are special to you and toss the rest in the recycling. Get rid of all those old bills you don't need to keep anymore. Who needs to be reminded of how much money they've spent? If you have 1,000 fridge magnets, you might want to get rid of some. They're probably just making your fridge look cluttered anyway. Throw away any you don't even remember getting, and keep a few of your favorites in a drawer. Have a look at your stationery drawer. If you haven't used that hole punch or pencil sharpener since you left school, it might be time to let them go. You probably don't use those tiny screws and plastic pieces from furniture you don't even remember owning. In the trash they go. Magazines you've already read 1,000,000 times and recipe books you rarely use anymore are great dust collectors. Keep the ones you still look at, gather up the rest, and get recycling. Deep down, you know you're never going to use those whiteout bottles. They probably dried up years ago. Bye! Everything comes with a remote control these days. If you own more than necessary, throw them away. We all have that special container filled with used rubber bands, twisty ties, and paper clips that we're never going to find a use for. Find the trash and throw them all inside. If you haven't worn a pair of shoes in 5 years, you probably won't feel like wearing them anytime soon. These are great to donate, if they're still usable, of course. Concert tickets, name tags from conferences, and old entry passes don't need to be kept once the event is over. Holding on to old clothing that hasn't fit in years in hopes you'll wear it again is just a waste of space. Keep anything that has sentimental value, donate the rest to a local charity, and free up some room for some cool new clothes. Newspapers more than a few days old should be recycled. Unless there's an article you absolutely need, toss any old newspapers. All those craft supplies for projects that you never actually started can easily be donated or given to a friend who is bored during those winter months. Everyone loves fresh squeezed orange juice, but how often are you actually squeezing those oranges yourself? It's time to get rid of all your old novelty kitchen gadgets. If you're lucky, a cleanup might remind you of some of your old favorites. It's not your cooking skills that are wrecking your steak dinner. It's the cheap pans that keep burning your meal. Investing in a new set will ensure that your food is cooked to perfection. Take away chopsticks, plastic cutlery, and more napkins than you care to count. If you haven't used them in a year, they need to go. Items packed with takeouts are usually very low quality, so it isn't a good idea to use them years afterwards. We've all taken up baking at one point, but how many baking dishes can you really fit in your oven at the same time? Keep what you use and set the others free. There are always empty bottles and jars kept just in case. If you're not making a lot of pasta sauce, you don't need many. Getting rid of them clears shelf space for things you use more often. Unless you think there's a good chance you'll return those brand new purchases, you should only hold on to the boxes for a couple of weeks, unless you're building a box castle, of course. Dull knives can make eating that roast chicken nearly impossible, especially when the knives were cheap to begin with. Inexpensive knives aren't easily sharpened, so it's time to replace them with a few quality ones. Towels need replacing often, but don't let them go to waste. Old towels make great rags when you cut them up. They also make for a good dog blanket for when you go to the beach and don't want sand all over your car. If you can't identify what's in the freezer with a glance, toss it. You don't want to risk spreading bacteria to your newer food. A natural loofah should be replaced every 3 to 4 weeks. If you've got one of the plastic ones, those can last for 2 months. Over time, they accumulate bacteria and skin cells from our adventures. As a general rule, when they start to look too fluffy, it's better to replace them. After painting the living room, it makes sense to keep the leftover paint in the garage. Except that it was years ago. If it hasn't dried out completely, it's probably expired. That black hole in the washing machine that keeps eating your socks isn't returning them anytime soon. Time to just accept the loss and say goodbye to the odd socks cluttering your drawer. Now that you have gotten rid of unmatched socks, you might as well get rid of any pairs that have holes in them. The same goes for any clothing that looks a bit worse for wear, too. If you don't think you'll ever have the patience to restore your rusty tools, it's a better idea just to replace them. Make sure to store them correctly, too. They'll last a lot longer. Think you're going to find a use for all those stretched-out hair ties? Think again. All they'll do is fill up your drawers. Dogs or cats are often spoiled for choice of toys and treats. If you notice that the house is filled with toys, when it's time to do the housekeeping, get rid of some. Your dog probably won't miss that toy that has been stuffed behind the sofa for 2 years. If they're not too worn, you could even donate them to a shelter. Do you have lots of keys in the house you don't remember the use for? Me too. Then that's probably a sign to get rid of some. Make sure to try them all out first, though. You might have the key to some secret pirate treasure. Maybe the first time you get a business card, it's cool to keep. But if you can't close your wallet or purse anymore, it's time to discard them. Sort through to see if you have any important ones and get rid of ones from people you've never heard of. Kitchen sponges can get dirty really quickly. The only solution is to replace your sponge more often, especially when they're starting to get a smell. You don't want to add a dose to E. coli to your meal every time you wipe a plate down. All shapes and sizes of hangers just seem to appear in the closet. If you've got old or broken hangers just taking up space, do your clothes a favor and buy some new ones. They're really cheap to replace, and new ones will make your wardrobe a lot better looking. Got a lot of baggage at home? It's probably time to take a trip, or take a load off. One large suitcase for long trips and a smaller bag for day trips are all that's needed. Any more, and you're taking way too many vacations, which is not a bad thing. So get this, an extra hole at the upper part of the sink has multiple hidden functions. First, in case someone forgets to close the tap, the water won't overflow and the bathroom won't get flooded. Second, thanks to that hole, the water drains faster as it gives an escape for the air, helping the water flow down. Those 2 holes on the side of any Converse shoe are not there only to let the stinky air out. Sure, breathability is important for any athlete, but the second reason is that athletes lace through those holes to get a better grip. Donuts have a hole in the middle, and it doesn't stand for O in donut. It's not designed for an easier grip either, although it can be quite convenient. It's actually made this way for mass baking, so that they cook all the way through evenly. Most metallic zippers have a hidden lock inside them to save you from awkward situations, such as an undone fly. Oh boy. Don't leave the zipper handle in an upward position. When you pull it downwards, it automatically locks. It's all thanks to those tiny grooves hidden underneath the handle. Almost any public toilet has a large gap between the floor and the door. The reason for such a zero privacy thing is to actually minimize the level of privacy and comfort, so that people wouldn't stay there long and there'd be no lines. It's also easier to clean and safer if some emergency occurs. Spoiled milk emits gases, like most foods when they go bad. A classic plastic milk jug has a concave shape on one side, so when the gases expand inside the jug, it expands too, and the concave shape curves out. Also, if you want to save some milk for later and freeze it, the jug will expand when the milk gets solid as well, occupying more space in a jug. Headrests in a car are about comfort, and detachable headrests are about safety. If you pull the headrest out of the seat, you'll see two bars, which are quite sturdy. If you ever get locked or trapped in a car, you can get out of there smashing the window with one of these bars. Bath foam isn't only for fun or a nice smell, it also helps regulate the temperature. The bubbles keep the water hot, so you can enjoy a bath a bit longer. Anyway, it works for acrylic bathtubs only. Those made of metal lose heat really fast either way. Many cups and mugs have little grooves on the bottom on purpose. They're designed for dishwashing machines. The grooves let the water flow and not spill over your feet when you take the cup out. Also, those grooves let the air flow, so the cup doesn't crack even if the tea is scalding. Almost all measuring tapes have a metal tip with a small slot on the end. You can use this slot to hang the tape on a nail or a screw and make measurements without anyone's help. Sometimes this tip has a row of sharp points along the edge on one side. That comes in handy when you want to leave a mark without using a pencil. Doorknobs are usually made of brass, bronze, and some other copper alloys for a reason. They have an antibacterial effect, so they stop microbes from spreading. They get rid of a range of harmful germs pretty fast, within a couple of hours. But don't forget to wash your hands anyway. Grocery carts have loops for a reason. You don't want to put your jacket in a cart next to potatoes and onions. Hang it on a loop. This little hook-like thing is here to help you better organize the space in your cart. The carts also have a super handy grid. Whenever the cart's full, you just need to lift the grid and attach the shopping basket for extra purchases, placing it in between the horizontal bar above the wheels and the hook the grid has. A point on an ointment cap is there for a reason too. Most tubes are usually sealed with foil, and it's better to avoid opening it with fingers unless you're ready to say goodbye to your nails. A point easily opens even the most safely sealed tube. A pack of cotton pads has those strings on it so that we could hang it on some hook or holder. And no, there's no need to untighten and tighten the pack again. Look at the bottom of the pack. It has a perforated line. Tear along it, and now you're good to pull out a cotton pad. If you've ever tried a Nintendo cartridge to taste, you'll confirm that they taste revolting, leaving a sour, bitterish aftertaste in your mouth. They're covered with denatonium benzoate, one of the most disgusting flavors ever known. Actually, this taste is kind of a hidden function. It prevents people from swallowing those cartridges. Silica gel can often be found in different things you buy, like bags, shoes, and many others. Don't throw it away. It's meant to absorb excess moisture, so anytime your shoes are a bit wet, just throw in a packet with silica gel. Escalator brushes aren't for keeping your shoes clean or polished. It's for our safety. Brushes won't let you come close to the edge, so a long coat or bootcut jeans won't end up between the steps. Rough edges on the dimes aren't just about design. The coins used to be made of precious metals to show their real value. People would shave off the edges, spending the shaven coins with the same value, and melt the edges into new coins. To avoid it, minters added that pattern so people could tell if someone cut that coin before. Ever notice a tiny hole on the bottom of a padlock? Its hidden purpose is to drain water to help avoid corrosion. It's always the most convenient place to lubricate a padlock. A drop of oil in there will make it open and close easier. Bottles have long necks for a reason. Hold the neck, not the bottle, if you want to enjoy a cold drink. Same goes for fancy glasses. Their stem saves any drink from overheating, so hold it right. Notebook margins are not some extra space for note-taking. In fact, people invented them to protect their notes. People used to co-live with rats, and these guys like gnawing on everything they see on their way, including paper. Still, rats weren't able to chew more than the space left on the margins. That black grate on a microwave isn't just some fancy decoration. It's called a Faraday shield, and it prevents the rays from escaping the microwave. It also speeds up the heating, so you could enjoy yesterday's leftovers faster. It may also block phone signals, so if you're tired of numerous calls, just put the phone into a microwave, but don't turn it on. All Tic Tac containers are designed to dispense one Tic Tac every time you open it. The lid has the same shape as the candy. Turn the container upside down, gently shake it, and slowly open it. You'll notice only one candy stuck between those lid grooves. So if you just open the container and shake it until 5 or more candies fall into your mouth, that means you've been eating Tic Tac wrong all this time. Those little holes in the airplane windows are designed to control the cabin pressure. They also protect the windows from fogging up as the temperatures drop and rise. By the way, the airplane window is round for a reason. This way, pressure is evenly distributed, so it doesn't get deformed. Blue bristles on a toothbrush are actually an indicator that it's just about time to change the brush. As the bristles get in contact with water, the blue or whatever other pigment fades away. So the more you use it, the duller the color becomes. A triple handle on a jerry can is there to make it easier for 2 people to carry it and distribute the fuel evenly. Gas cans often have a second hole that actually needs to be uncapped too before you pour the gas. The air passage will prevent it from pouring out, so no more fuel waste. The tab on the rearview mirror does have a function. It holds your air freshener, a pair of foam dice, your graduation tassel, and some other useful stuff. But in fact, it works as a tumbler between day and night mode. It helps hold the glare from the car behind you. Those car lights can blind you. So, grocery carts have loops for a reason. You don't want to put your jacket in your cart next to a bunch of potatoes and onions, do you? Hang it on the loop instead. It's there to help you organize your cart better. Carts also have a cool section at the bottom. Whenever your cart's full, just lift it up and attach a shopping basket for extra purchases. Lift up the whole metal thing, sit your basket on the horizontal bar above the wheels, and secure it with those handy hooks. If you've got some pesky parsley stuck in your teeth, try this tip. It can be hard to get it all out with loose floss. You need more tension. Just tie it in a knot. Toothpaste stripes may seem a bit weird. It's just a marketing trick. Back in the 70s, a leading toothpaste brand added a blue stripe to show that their toothpaste had double action. Solid white toothpaste worked just as well. But those blue bristles on your toothbrush actually make sense. They gradually lose their color over time. When the blue's faded, it's time to change your toothbrush. Ever notice that tiny hole on the bottom of a padlock? Its hidden purpose is to drain water out to keep it from rusting. It's also the place to lubricate a padlock. A drop of oil in there will make it open and close way easier. Those ridges on the edge of dimes aren't just for show. People used to shave off the edges, then melt the edges down into new coins. But thanks to the new design, it's easy to tell if someone's been shaving the edges off. If you still struggle with peeling an orange, here's another way of opening it. First, cut off the top and bottom. Make a slit on the side and pull it open. That knobbly bit sticking out of the cap of your favorite cream is there for a reason. These tubes are usually sealed with foil, so unless you love breaking your nails trying to open them, just flip the cap over and push. The tiny rubber disc under every bottle cap isn't just for seeing if you want a lifetime supply of soda. It's what keeps your drink all nice and bubbly. The lid keeps the liquid inside. The rubber disc keeps the gas inside. Until you drink it. If you use the blue side of your eraser to erase pen, your notebooks are probably all full of holes. The blue side's there for when you need to erase something on much thicker paper. It works on pencil and even ink, as long as the paper's thick enough. Your bobby pins might not stay in place if the grooves aren't facing the right way. They should always be on the bottom, close to your head. Still coming loose? Put a squeeze of hairspray right onto the bobby pin before you put it in your hair. Many glass bottles usually have some sort of indent at the bottom. It's handy if you want to be fancy. Put your thumb in the indent and pour away. The technical name for this little dude is a punt. Those sugar sticks at your local coffee stand are ready to be opened in a new and easier way. Look how happy they are. Try splitting it right down the middle. No more sugar on your fingers, no more tiny little paper bit, even your coffee's happier. Your cotton rounds pack has those strings on it so you can hang it on a handy hook in the bathroom. But there's no need to loosen and tighten back up again every time. Check out the bottom of the pack. It has a perforated line. Tear it open carefully and you're good to go. Doorknobs are usually made of brass, bronze, or some other copper alloy. Why? They're antibacterial, so they stop microbes from spreading. Just a couple of hours and the pesky microbes are gone. But don't forget to wash your hands anyway. Bottles have long necks for a reason. Hold the neck, not the bottle, if you want to enjoy a cold drink. 2 zips too much? Maybe, but they come in handy as a clever anti-theft device. Just lock them together. Now no one can open your backpack. Don't have a lock on you? You can also tie them together with some string or even just a paper clip. Anything to slow those pickpockets down. That tiny little button on the back of a shirt collar is used to hold your tie in place. You don't want your tie trying to escape back there. Shoe manufacturers care about their customers. So most running shoes now have a special anti-blister system pre-installed. Sounds intense, but it's basically just that extra hole on top of your sneakers. Make a loop with the extra hole, inserting the lace backwards. Cross your laces and put them through the loops. Now pull the laces down to lock your foot in place. Now run. You'll find silica gel packets when you buy bags, shoes, even some snacks. Don't throw them away. They soak up excess moisture, so anytime your shoes are a bit damp, chuck a few gel packets in there overnight. You might have been using your shampoo wrong this whole time. Really? Here's the gist. Don't apply it to your hair. Just apply it to the roots. The foam you create will trickle down on your hair anyway. Notebook margins aren't for taking extra notes or practicing emojis. They were invented to protect people's work. People used to live with a lot of hungry rats around. The rats would nibble at the paper, eating people's work. They put the margin lines there to let people know to start their writing further from the edge, so it's not lost to a hungry rodent. Solo cups are the key element for any barbecue party. But these red cups are even cooler than you thought. You can use them to measure liquids. The bottom line equals 1 ounce, the second line equals 5 ounces, and the third line equals 12 ounces. If you like milk on your tea, try this tip out next time. Pour it from the other side of the carton. It sloshes around less and it's easier to control. Car headrests are all about comfort, and detachable headrests are all about safety. If you pull the headrest out, you'll see 2 sturdy metal bars. If you ever get locked or trapped in a car, you can use the bars to smash the window and get out. Women's shirts have their buttons on the left, even though about 85% of people are right-handed. It would make way more sense to have them on the right. The thing is, back in the day, wealthy women had maids to help them dress. So, for them, the buttons on the left made things much easier, don't you know? The tab on your rearview mirror does have a real function, people. It holds your air freshener, your huge fuzzy dice, maybe a big smiley emoji, but it's actually a switch between day and night mode for your mirror. When it's dark out, the night mode blocks the glare from the car behind you. The McFlurry spoon has a square handle on it. It gets attached directly to the ice cream machine, and the ice cream and toppings get mixed in together, right in your cup. It saves the employees loads of time, plus it saves water, because they don't have to wash the machine after each one. Wooden hangers are so hot right now, they could burn up your clothes. Nah, not really, but they look better and are more natural. But there's another reason to use them. They're made of cedar, which is a natural moth repellent. Bonus tip? Add some dry orange peel to your closet. No moth is ever going in there again. So you can wash your hands as much as you want, but you're never going to get that garlic or onion smell off your hands. The smell of certain foods sticks to you because they release acidic molecules when you break them open. Washing your hands will help clean the food off you, but it doesn't do anything to remove the odor itself. Water on its own can actually make the issue even worse because it reacts with the molecules to make the smell stronger. It turns out that the best way to get rid of these smells is to rub your hands against your pots and pans, cutlery, and baking trays. As long as they're made of stainless steel, that is. This is so good at removing smells that someone even invented stainless steel soap. Trying to squeeze all of the juice out of a lemon without a strainer can be messy work. Instead of using your hands, try using some tongs. Place a lemon between the tongs and squeeze it. You'll definitely get a lot more juice with much less effort. Lint rollers were originally designed to remove tiny fibers from things like upholstery and clothing. But you can also use them to keep your silverware shiny and clean. The dishwasher might thoroughly rinse and clean your utensils, but that doesn't help much if the place you store them is dirty. If you want to remove the dirt from the utensil tray, you don't have to take the whole thing out of the drawer. Simply take your sticky lint roller and put it into each compartment, and ta-da! The crumbs and dirt are all gone. Lost your earring back? Take a small piece of pencil eraser and stick your earring in it. That'll keep it in place. Soda cans come with that little tab you use to open your drink. You know that hole in the top of the tab? It doesn't just make opening the can easier, it's also designed to hold your straw. It has more uses too. If you want to hang a picture up on a wall, but it doesn't have a wire or hanger, you can use a soda can tab for that too. You're having a coffee to go. It usually comes with that lid so you can close your drink, but you can also use it as a coaster. Take it off, turn it upside down, place it under your cup, and you'll never leave a mark on a table again. If you don't know how much spaghetti to have for dinner, there's an easy way to measure out a portion with a spaghetti spoon. The base of the spoon has a hole so you can drain water out, but it can also be used to measure how much pasta you should cook. Whatever fits in the spoon's hole is 1 serving of pasta. You opened applesauce and don't have a spoon with you. No need to buy one. Just take the lid, twist the end to make a handle, and use the other end as a scoop. Your little spoon is ready. Once your tissue box is empty, you don't have to throw it away. It's a great shape to store things in. Maybe you can never seem to remember where you keep your plastic bags. If you put them in an empty tissue box, you'll always know where they are. Binder clips are great little things to carry around with you when you want to leave the house carrying as few things as possible. Link one together with your keys, and you can just clip bills to it. With one of these, you'll never need to carry a wallet or purse around with you again. If you don't have a computer duster or something specifically designed to clean your keyboard, just use a cotton swab. Lightly moisten it with disinfectant and wipe between the keys once or twice a week. You may notice lots of boots have those loops sticking out on the back. Their main purpose is to help you pull your shoes on easier. Just pull it up as you push your heel into the boot. It has another handy use too. You can use it to hang your boots on a hook when they're dirty or when you want to dry them after washing. You can also run your laces through the loop if you're tying them around your ankles. It can be irritating when you buy shoes you like and then realize they're really slippery. No worries, just take a bit of sandpaper and rub it on the soles for better traction. Now they're more grippy. You could even wear them out in the rain. Okay, I admit it, I used to believe that the rougher end of the two-tone eraser was there to erase ink. The truth is that the darker side, which is usually blue or gray, can erase pencil from more delicate paper. This type of paper is usually only used by artists, so most people don't know about it. That's not all erasers can do though. They can polish your jewelry, clean electronics, and even remove that annoying residue from stickers. It can also clean scuffed up suede and dirt you might have on your walls. Uh-oh, your zipper got stuck again, and you're late. Who has time to deal with that now? Well, wax paper does. Try rubbing it on the stuck zipper, and it should loosen. Can openers can do so much more than the name suggests. For instance, they can help out with those frustrating hard plastic packages. Arrgh! You don't have to wrestle with scissors anymore. Just take a regular can opener, run it along the edge of some packaging, and enjoy never struggling to open anything again. Now, here's a top secret. Shh! WD-40 can completely remove gum from the soles of your shoes. It removes stickers, labels, and even crayon marks from walls. You could also use it to untangle your necklaces and loosen a ring if it gets stuck on your finger. Surprise! Now your earphones have a new holder. Neatly rolling them up in a Kinder Egg is a cool way to stop them from getting tangled. Hopefully. Doorknobs are mostly made of brass, and that's not a coincidence. Sure, it adds a nice golden shine to a room, but it actually has a practical reason too. Brass is generally durable and, most importantly, resistant to all the moisture and oils on human hands. It's also antibacterial, so brass doorknobs actually help to keep your house more hygienic. Wooden hangers look fancier and more elegant than those plastic ones, but that's not the only reason they're more expensive. They're actually made of cedar, which is a special type of wood that repels bugs. Speaking of the wardrobe, putting a soap bar inside will leave a refreshing scent on your clothes. Nail polish is not only for beauty treatments. Thanks to its adhesive and waterproofing abilities, it's great if you need to make a protective seal or stick some things together. No more licking envelopes, the nail polish is here. It can also keep your glasses frames tighter, fix a run in your stockings, guys, or take care of the fraying ends of the shoelaces. You get a small silica gel packet every time you buy a new pair of shoes. You should keep them because silica gel is excellent at absorbing moisture out of the environment. It can be used for much more than just shoes, though. You know how everyone says if your phone is wet, you need to put it in a jar with some rice? The rice is supposed to draw the water out, but silica is even better when it comes to absorbing moisture. You can also put silica packets in your gym bag to stop any bad smells from building up. Make sure to always be careful with silica gel, though. The warning label clearly says you shouldn't eat it because it contains toxic additives. You're writing an essay on your computer. Almost done? Oh no, the internet's gone. No problem, there's an easy way to use up some time. If you use Google Chrome, you'll see a little T-Rex show up in your browser, right next to No Internet. When this fellow appears, just press the Up key on the keyboard and you'll start a platformer minigame. You need to help the T-Rex run around without hitting any cactuses on its way. Okay, connection, no need for you to come back. I've got some records to break. We all know what a thermos is for, but it wasn't actually invented to keep your coffee warm. It was made by a Scottish scientist who just wanted a safe place to keep his chemicals at a stable temperature. So he took 2 bottles, put the smaller one inside the bigger bottle, and vacuumed out the air between them. Ah, thank you for helping me keep my coffee warm. So grab your phone. Good, now turn it around. You see that little dot between the camera and the flash? That's a tiny microphone. Bet that's something you didn't know. What's it doing there? Well, when you're on a phone call, this little guy is busy at work reducing the amount of background noise other people hear when you talk. That's right, if it wasn't for this, calls wouldn't be as nearly as crisp as they are now. You're lost in the woods and you're rushing to get back to camp. You suddenly remember you've got something that can help. You grab one of your chest straps from your backpack and whistle on it. Yup, that's right. A lot of bags have this feature in them, especially the ones made for the outdoors. It isn't long before you hear the call of one of your friends and you follow them back to the warm campfire, saved by this cool bit of design. If you're a curious person, you might have wondered what that little pocket in your jeans is doing there. You know, the one that's inside the bigger pocket? People often use it to store coins and bills, but it's not meant for that. It's actually designed to store your pocket watch safely. Ah, maybe that's where the name pocket watch comes from. You finally arrive home after a long day's work. You understandably don't feel like cooking, so you sit on the couch and watch a bit of TV and order some takeout. How about Chinese? Ah, perfect. There's the doorbell. That has to be your food. It smells delicious. Wait, before you grab the plates, do this instead. Open your Chinese. The can of soda you got with your food has a cool feature too. Look at the tiny metal tab there, the one you use to open the can. Guess what? You can fit your straw in there. In fact, that's exactly what they're made for. Go ahead, try it for yourself. If you're not at your computer, take a look at your keyboard right now. If you're not, that's okay. Here's one on the screen. The keycaps are arranged in what's called the QWERTY layout, named after the first 6 keycaps below the numbers. As it turns out, it wasn't always this way. They used to be laid out alphabetically, which would make more sense when you think about it. The alphabetical layout fell out of use because long ago there were things called typewriters. Remember those? You press down a key and a type bar would fly out, hitting an inked ribbon and stamping a letter on the piece of paper. Eventually, typists got good at this and typed faster. Too fast. The type bars would eventually get caught in a logjam with each other, ruining the flow. To fix this problem, they made keyboards with randomized keycaps. The new layout actually worked better because it made typing harder, helping to slow typists down and prevent the type bars from getting stuck. Much better. Today, no type bars, no typewriters, mostly. People are still fast nowadays, but you just can't help but wonder who is faster though, us or them. Keyboards have another hidden feature too. Have you ever noticed that the F keycap and the J keycap have little bumps on the bottom of them? As it turns out, they're there to help people figure out where they are on the keyboard without having to take their eyes off the screen. Grabbing a takeaway cup of coffee at your favorite cafe might be just what you need to fully wake up in the mornings. When you get back home or to work, though, you might be afraid to stain your desk when you put the steaming hot coffee down. Worry not, your plastic lid isn't only good for keeping your coffee hot, it also doubles as a coaster. In fact, they're the perfect size to hold a cup. Try it for yourself. This one's going to come in handy if you're a home cook. If you're like me, you might have a bit of trouble deciding how much pasta you need for just one serving. Well, if you've got a pasta scoop, grab that. Most people don't know what the little hole in the middle is for and assume it's supposed to help with water drainage or something. It turns out that it helps you measure out a perfect serving. Just see how much dry spaghetti you can fit in the hole and use that as one portion. Out at the store buying coat hangers, you might notice that the plastic ones feel cheaper than the wooden ones. There's a good reason for this. Wooden hangers are made out of cedar wood. The big difference between the two is that the wooden ones repel bugs and moths. They're stronger and last longer too, perfect for things that might stay in your closet for a long time. When you brush your teeth, you might have noticed that your toothbrush has blue bristles. They're not just there for show. In fact, they're there to tell you when it might be time to switch toothbrushes. These bristles lose their strength and color when the brush has been worn down, letting you know that it's time to get rid of it. Microwaves often look a bit like mini TVs, especially ones where you can clearly see the black film around them. This is actually a really important feature that's used to keep the radiation from slipping away. They're called Faraday cages, if you want to get technical. This is why you can stand next to a microwave without melting into a puddle. That's not to say you should stand in front of the microwave and watch your food heat up, but at least you know you won't grow an extra ear or something. Okay, not really. Some ovens have a drawer under them. It's tempting to use this to store random junk you don't use often, but there's a better use for it. Instead, this should be used to help keep the food that's waiting to be served hot. You can take it out of the oven and store it right in this drawer, keeping your oven free for you to carry on cooking. Now, you're on a plane looking around trying to pass the time before takeoff. When you examine the window, you notice it has a little, very tiny hole on its bottom. Don't worry, it's not broken. It's there to relieve the pressure that builds up over time as the plane goes up and down. It also lets the air flow through it. Now, raise your hand if you've ever ridden on an escalator and scrubbed your shoes on its bristles. Hey, I'm guilty of doing that, maybe more than I should. It's not there to clean your shoes though. It's an important safety measure. It stops your shoelaces, clothing, and other stuff from getting stuck in there, avoiding a nasty scene when you go to get off. Sometimes a piece of fabric comes with your new clothing. It usually comes along with the extra buttons in a little plastic bag. You might think it's just a piece of fabric to use for future patching, in case you rip it. But that isn't its purpose at all. It's actually supposed to be put in the washing machine to test how it reacts to various washings. Now, you don't have to worry about shrinking your new, expensive coat because you know how it'll react to the wash. Bubbles! Who doesn't love bubbles? Most people have fond memories with bubble blowers as a kid. But as adults, the closest thing we can get to recapturing that feeling is with bubble baths. After a hard day at work, there's nothing better than dipping into a nice warm bubble bath. Right, guys? And the bubbles do more than just clean you. If they're high-quality bubbles, they'll serve as a heat insulator. So they make sure that your bath stays warm for longer. Boxes of chocolate sometimes have these mysterious holes in them. When I'm eating a box, or two, I usually ignore them and take out the chocolate by pressing the bottom of the plastic. But it turns out that I've been doing it wrong the whole time. If you press one of the holes, the chocolate comes right out. I'm certainly going to start doing this from now on. Here's another one from the kitchen. The handle on a pot will often have a hole in it. Most people use this to hang them on a nail on the wall as an easy storage method. The hole has another use too. When you're cooking, you can use this handle to hold your wooden spoon or whatever else you might be cooking with. This makes sure you don't make a mess when you put it down. Glass bottles usually come with a cap in them. Well, duh. Otherwise, the liquid would just spill. In this cap, there's a plastic liner that seemingly has no purpose, right? Wrong. It's a seal. No, not a seal. A seal. It's the kind that helps keep your drink fizzy. Just the refreshment I needed. A lot of doorknobs are made out of brass, and it's not by chance. They're made out of this specific material because it's bacteria's worst enemy. That's right, it destroys them. Perfect for those who want to keep a clean house and avoid germs. Hey, you want a fish? After a bad day at work, you decide to hide yourself from the rest of the world. You turn off your phone and your laptop and lock yourself inside the bathroom. You jump out of your meditation when you hear a beeping sound. It's your toothbrush saying, "Data transfer completed." Your robot vacuum knocks at the door. Looks like it must be after you. Robot vacuums make a map of your home to get around and plan cleaning better. They can share this map with other gadgets via Wi-Fi and store them in the cloud. When advertisers get access to those maps, they can get an idea of your home size, your income level, and lifestyle to send the right ads your way. Vacuums don't have microphones, but their navigation systems can be repurposed to listen to your conversations. They map the room with a laser beam directed at objects. Sound waves affect that light. If you collect that data, you can convert it back into sound waves and identify what someone said. Headphones and microphones are based on the same idea. Headphones turn electrical signals into sound, and microphones turn sound into electrical signals. If you plug your headphones into the microphone jack, they'll work as a microphone. Bad guys learn to do it remotely without your consent. There's malware that retasks your computer output channel into input channel. It can record sounds from across the room even when the headphones are in their jack and the microphone is turned off and disconnected from the computer. Then it compresses the audio and sends it over the internet. There are computer mice that look like regular ones but have microphones and a built-in SIM card in them. The mics are so powerful they can even record whisper and broadcast that audio in real time. To activate it, you have to call the SIM card number and it goes on silently. To deactivate it, you can send an SMS to the same number. Some employers confirmed eavesdropping on their staff using that technology. A smart toothbrush remembers every move you made with it and shares it with you when you're done brushing. It also connects to your iPhone or Android using an app and sends data on your brushing habits to your dentist. They can watch over your brushing process and give you tips on how to take better care of your teeth. Smartwatches, fitness trackers, and other smart wearables monitor your health and can determine if you're walking, running, or driving with their built-in sensors. If third parties get control over that data, they can also monitor your hand movements as you unlock your phone, enter your PIN code at the ATM, or your password at the computer. The gadgets are smart enough to accurately guess all that secret data most of the time. They can also find out the email address you used when you registered with the app to identify who you are. Pacemakers and other health devices send patient data over the internet. In theory, criminals could obtain it during transfer and change it to look like the patient needs hospital treatment. That would make them leave their home, and bad guys could take advantage of the situation. Smart toys that have cameras and microphones in them can record videos and sounds and send them to the toy maker. To keep prices on smart toys lower, they don't add expensive security mechanisms to protect that data. If cybercriminals get a hold of it, they can steal pictures, videos, or audio, and even identify GPS coordinates of the house. LED lights equipped with sensors and connected to video cameras can watch over and listen to conversations over a large distance. This technology was used at one large airport for security and comfort reasons. Cybercriminals went further and learned to use ordinary light bulbs for eavesdropping on conversations. To do it, they need a clean line of sight between a powerful telescope and the bulb of the right thickness. It won't work if you have drapes on your window. When you're talking or listening to music, there are changes in air pressure on the surface of the bulb and it's shaking a bit. A special converter can turn data on the sounds from electrical to digital. Internet-connected thermostats can be operated remotely, and that made them desirable for cybercriminals. They once got access to millions of debit and credit cards data through a large retailer's heating and cooling system. Other bad guys found a way to remotely lock smart thermostats' controls and demanded ransom to unlock them. Smart fridges can tell you when it's time to buy milk as they track your food preferences and have great connectivity. Smart dishwashers, coffee machines, washers, and dryers are also collecting and transmitting your data, even at moments you don't think they're doing it. Criminals can make use of that data to find out a lot about your schedule and guess when you aren't at home. Your voice assistant makes your life easier, but it must listen to you 24/7 to make that possible. They never record anything you say before you activate them with your voice. Everything that follows is stored in the cloud and can be of use for different companies. They can learn what music you like to listen to, what news stories interest you the most, and where you make your reservations. Some companies hire human reviewers to listen to commands to see if voice recognition works well and improve its accuracy. Xbox admitted they also hired people to listen to users' audio to improve voice command features. The problem is that it made some recordings by mistake and strangers were listening to personal chats. Home security cameras can take videos, pictures, and audio recording and upload them to the cloud without you even knowing. Manufacturers say it's done to improve object recognition. You can get access to that camera footage remotely using an app. There are programs that can guess a CCTV password and forward the video stream to a third-party computer. They can also get control over the camera and disable any signs of monitoring, like red light, so it seems inactive. Almost every car has an event data recorder that tracks information on its location, average speed, road condition, and even your preferred route. Your computer on wheels constantly streams that data to its manufacturer. They use it to try to prevent accidents and make other improvements. It's not clear who owns all that car-related information, so in theory, it could end up at a third party. Smart TVs run an operating system just like computers and also have a file system, cameras for video face recognition, and a microphone. They are always connected to the internet, and if cyber criminals get access to a TV, that can change certain settings and record audio even when the TV is off. They could also watch you through the camera and use the smart gadget to move to other devices on the same network, like your laptop. Well, I'm totally creeped out, so what can we do about it? You can disable automatic content recognition to stop your TV from giving you viewing recommendations and limit voice activation function for a safer experience. You'll find that option in General or Advanced settings under Viewing Information or Viewing Data. You can also disconnect it from the cloud altogether. Always change default passwords and usernames on new devices to secure your network. Make up a new password for every gadget every now and then. You can also split your modem and use one Wi-Fi signal for laptops, iPads, and the like, and the other for security cameras. Don't forget to turn off the Wi-Fi router when you leave the house to minimize the risk of a digital intrusion. Whenever possible, enable two-step authentication that demands physical access to the device to log in. Always install software updates as soon as the gadget manufacturer offers you to do it. Updates have patches for detected vulnerability issues. Cover your laptop camera with a dark-colored tape when you aren't using it. Delete your conversations with a voice assistant. You can do it at the manufacturer's website or app. Another option is to activate the Delete by Voice function in Settings. Then you'll be able to tell the assistant to delete what you just said or your last conversations. You can also mute the device when you aren't using it and choose not to send data to manufacturer to help them improve services. If you have a thermostat that connects to your voice assistant, tap the microphone icon on its screen and set voice control to off. You won't be able to activate it remotely, and it won't be able to listen to wake words and send your audio anywhere. Okay, have a nice day. Fitness trackers and fancy smartwatches are fine for monitoring your heart rate and even the miles you cover on a run. They're not so good at measuring the number of calories you've burned, though. A 2017 study from the Stanford University School of Medicine showed that fitness trackers and smartwatches have error margins of less than 5% when it comes to measuring heart rates. That's pretty good, so you can be confident in whatever reading you're getting. The problem is with the devices measuring energy expenditure accurately or calendars burned. Even the best was off by an average of 27%. The worst was off by a crazy 93%. That means they're very unreliable and shouldn't be trusted. Fitness trackers don't work well for measuring calories because we all have different heights, weights, diets, and many other things. That means we all burn calories at completely different rates. The trackers are often programmed with a preset average height and weight. So, if you're going to use one, take it with a grain of salt, unless you're trying to reduce your sodium intake. Sunscreens have only one job to do, and that's protecting us from the harmful ultraviolet rays. In 2017, though, a study found that many popular brands failed to protect at all, with only 1 in 4 working. Most sunscreens didn't protect users from ultraviolet A and B rays at all. Some manufacturers also claimed that these products had an SPF of over 50, which sounds very high quality, but the actual SPF was much lower than that. The misleading labeling means we aren't as protected as we think when we're at the beach. So when you're out shopping for sunscreen, make sure you look at the ingredients and apply more than you think you should. Ooh, sports drinks, an essential item for anyone working out. These bright-colored drinks are filled with electrolytes that will increase your performance and rehydrate you fast. The problem is, we're not all athletes, so most people would be better if they just drink water instead. Sports drinks are made up of water with some minerals and lots of sugar, coloring, and flavor. Those minerals are electrolytes, which can help our bodies go longer. Your exercise habits, the duration, and the intensity of your training all come into whether you really need that extra boost. While sports drinks can benefit athletes engaged in long or intense training, they're not really necessary for most gym goers. Sports drinks are probably pointless if you're only doing light to moderate exercise, like walking or jogging, over a short period of time. After using a toaster for most of your life, most people still haven't figured out how to get a perfect heat setting. It turns out that burnt toast is probably just down to a simple misconception. Those numbers on your toaster aren't heat levels at all. They're actually minutes. The dial is basically just a timer. That means all you need to do is look up how long it takes to toast certain things, and you'll never ruin your breakfast again. Hey, I like burnt toast. I'm used to it. Most of us rely on wireless technology to carry out normal everyday tasks. It can be very frustrating when technology stops working and interrupts your day. In fact, the only thing more frustrating might be not knowing why it isn't working. The worst culprit here is your cell phone. It'll often show really great reception, but somehow can't make a phone call. The bars on a cell phone actually don't mean anything. The way they receive the signal differs a lot between different makes and models of phone. There's even a big difference between what the bars mean from one phone to another. Meanwhile, watching a progress bar showing the percentage of time left to complete a download on our phones or PC can be tedious. Sometimes they just seem to be stuck doing nothing. Bad news, they don't really work. At least not in the way we think. The system updates the progress bar when certain milestones are reached. A progress bar at 50% doesn't mean half the file has been downloaded. Almost all the files could have been downloaded. The point of them is to give you something visual to look at. Progress bars aren't accurate because downloads and transfers have too many variables beyond the system's control. Internet speeds and network availability are the coordinators of how quickly a download will complete, while your computer's hard drive determines how fast things process and information gets put in the right files. It's probably best to make a coffee or set things up to download while you're in bed, instead of constantly checking up on an incorrect progress bar. Elsewhere, stopping at a crosswalk and pressing the button hoping the walk signal will come up might just be a waste of your time. It turns out that all that button pushing could be for nothing. Some crosswalk buttons need to be pressed, but others don't do anything at all. The crossing symbol will just light up whenever it wants to. Some crosswalks even switch between needing and not needing a button press, depending on the time of day. That said, it can be difficult for all of us pedestrians to determine whether a crosswalk button works or not. When in doubt, just push the button anyway. You don't want to stand around waiting for no reason. With more people going into the water and sharks, well, living in the water, the fear of bumping into a not-so-friendly shark is ever increasing. This shared water space has pushed many companies to try to create shark repellents. This sounds like a good idea that should help keep both people and sharks more safe. Companies have tried everything – sprays, wetsuits, magnets, wax, and even electronic devices to repel the scary fish. The bad news is none of these products are confirmed to actually work. One, in particular, makes the sound of an orca. Sharks aren't too fond of being in the same area as them, but does pretending you're an orca stop a shark from biting you? If you feel safer using them, then go right ahead. But if you're looking for a shark deterrent that's 100% effective, it's just not available. Psst, here's what actually works. Stay out of the water. Rushing into an elevator and repeatedly pushing the closed door button in the US is basically a huge waste of time unless you've got the special trick. In 1990, the US passed a Disabilities Act for elevators, which meant that elevators had to ensure that someone with a disability had time to get inside one. If you're on crutches, use a cane, or travel in a wheelchair, you don't have to worry about someone accidentally closing the elevator doors before you've had a chance to pass through them. There's one important loophole to this. If you're an emergency or maintenance worker, you'll have access to keys and codes that make that button operational. This is just another example of a placebo button you're invited to push, just to make you feel like you've done something. That impatient finger poking isn't doing anything. Getting a bit warm or cold in the office? Better adjust that thermostat. Unfortunately, in the vast majority of office buildings, the system controls are kept inside air ducts, not on the wall. Technicians install dummy thermostats to give workers the illusion that they're dramatically changing the air conditioning or heat. Some are set to change 1 or 2 degrees, but they're often not connected to anything at all. Dummy thermostats came about around the 1960s. As heating prices rose, building leases often required employers to stay within specific temperatures. Faced with this problem, fake thermostats became the new rage for businesses. They offer people some feeling of control while keeping the temperature in the right range. Now, ever come across some premium PC cleaning software that promises to clean your PC and make it go as fast as when you purchased it? Yeah! These third-party PC cleaners are often made to seem like they really work, but they usually don't do much of anything at all. They'll detect non-problems and list them as problems. The worst example of this is when they list browser cookies and temporary files as having an effect on the computer's speed, when they don't. It's better to stick to the operating system's built-in cleaner. It'll work fine if you ever need to clean your computer and save you having to splash out on one that does pretty much the same thing. Well, that's all I got. Time to burn some toast.
We know how much homeowners love to make their houses picture perfect. It can soon become a struggle, though, once you try to flatten out those pesky corners of a new rug. But there is one genius trick that can help. Just plop a few ice cubes and a heavy object on the corner, and voila! Flat rug. No more tripping over the rolled-up edges. Sitting in your car, frozen and grumpy, watching your windows slowly defrost is about as fun as watching paint dry. And let's not forget the disaster that is wiping the mist off the inside. But hey, if you don't want to risk getting slapped with a fine, you better give this funky demisting trick a try. People have tried it all, but apparently it was the cat litter that won the condensation game.
Just grab an old sock or pair of tights, fill them up with cat litter, tie it up, and plop it under your car's windows. It's so effective that it should do the trick in just 10 minutes. The cat litter works by absorbing the moisture in the air. Cleaning our stoves ain't fun either, let's be honest. But fear not, because one cleaning guru on TikTok has come to the rescue with a genius trick that'll make cleaning your stove a breeze. All you need is some oven spray, cling film, and a lot of patience. Start by spraying some cleaning product on the stove. Then cover the whole thing in cling film. Here's where your patience will be needed. You'll have to wait a whole day for the cleaning product to work its magic. But trust me, once you remove that cling film, the stains will have melted off. That leftover mess on your stove can be scrubbed off easily now. Finish the job using a regular cloth for the rest of the grind. It's time you forget about fancy schmancy car trash cans. Why waste your money on those when you can repurpose a plastic cereal container? It's small enough to fit in your car, and the flip-top opening means your trash won't go flying all over the place when you take sharp turns. Plus, just line it with a plastic grocery bag, and you're ready to go. Feel like your feet need a bit of pampering? You can skip the expensive spa day at your local salon. All you need is a sanitary pad, some toothpaste, and baking soda. Mix the toothpaste with the baking soda powder and spread it evenly on the pad. Place it on the soles of your feet and slip a sock on so it's nice and snuggly. The pad should keep the mixture and moisture in so you don't make a mess all over your house. After an hour or two, rinse off the toothpaste mixture with plenty of water. You'll notice how soft the soles of your feet have become. For that extra step, add some moisturizer too. Those trusty sanitary pads can be used for all sorts of stuff around your house too, like for freshening up your drawers. Just spritz some perfume on a pad. Place it next to your clothes of choice and voila! Your gym clothes, for example, will smell like a fragrant bouquet. And don't forget to throw one in your gym bag too. Oh boy, time to give those lampshades the love they deserve. Grab a trusty lint roller and watch in amazement as you unveil a whole new world of colors underneath that forever dust. Who knew your lampshades were secretly chameleon? Say goodbye to dog hair and hello to your new household best friend, the rubber squeegee brush. This bad boy can snatch up so much fur from your carpet that you'll be wondering if you even own a pet. Just stroke it short and quick over your rug and watch it unleash a furry storm. And if you're wondering about your hardwood floors, fear not. The rubber bristles work like magic to create one giant fur ball. Save yourself from cleaning cabinets and furniture tops by hooking them up with fashionable hats. They're made out of wax paper or paper bags. The dirt and grease will stick to your new accessories, and when it's time for a new look, just swap them out every few months. You know that feeling when you finally peel off a bumper sticker or parking permit, but then you're left with a sticky mess? There's a simple solution though. Slap a wet piece of newspaper on top of that gunk and let it marinate for 15 minutes. Then poof, the glue will be as soft as a fluffy cloud and you can wipe it away with ease. If your dishwasher is stinking up your kitchen, it's time to get your detective hat on. Check that filter for any leftovers lurking in there. Then add a splash of vinegar to your next hot wash cycle. Those pesky food particles could be the culprits behind your dishwasher's funky fragrance. Get ready to be a Vaseline wizard. Say goodbye to pesky polish smudges with a simple solution. Slather some Vaseline around your nails before you go to town with a brush. Once you're done, wipe away the excess without the need for any nail polish remover. And if you're feeling fancy, make that perfume last even longer by adding a touch of Vaseline to your neck and wrists. It's like a scent superhero, keeping those fragrance molecules from flying away too soon. Have you checked out your shower curtain lately? It might be looking pretty grimy and gross. Toss that bad boy in the washing machine with a couple of towels and voila, no more soap scum stains. The towels will help with scrubbing away all that mess while they're tumbling in the washing machine. Say goodbye to single socks with a strip of foam pipe insulation. Measure and cut each piece, then place it in that sneaky gap between your washer and dryer or wall. Those pesky socks will never go missing again. Got a wobbly table that's cramping your style? Your trusty bottle cork is here to save the day. Slice off a piece of that bad boy, glue it to the wobbly leg, and voila! You've got yourself a sturdy surface to rest your drink on. A hammer is more than just a smashing tool. The back of this tool can actually hold a nail for you. No more risking your fingers or giving yourself a thumbectomy. Just slide it into the claw and bam, you're ready to nail it. Want to know the saucy way to pick up a sizzling lid? Ditch those boring oven mitts and grab yourself a pair of tongs. But wait, don't just go in head first. Use the middle. Trust me, it's hot and it's effective. Care to find out how to keep your dressing gown from slipping and sliding all over the place? Got you covered. Instead of going through all the loops, just place the cord through the front ones. You don't even need it to be wrapped around you. All the business will be in the front. Tie that cord up nice and tight, and you'll be strutting around in no time. Bet you didn't know the right way to light a multi-wick candle. You'll never hurt the tips of your fingers again. Truth is, you don't light them one by one. Just light the first one. Then angle the candle in the right position so it lights up the other ones too. So, apparently, we've all been using deodorant wrong. Who knew? You're supposed to lather that stuff on before going to bed. That's because our underarms are supposed to soak it in overnight for maximum effectiveness. I'm here to save you from the USB struggle bus. You know that symbol on the cord? Yeah, it's not just there for decoration. Align the seam with the opposite edge of the tongue, and voila! You're in business. No more flipping it upside down and sideways like a crazy person. Thank me later. Hey buddy, looks like you had some fun in the great outdoors. As adorable as those paw prints look, your mama still needs to clean them. Spreading soda over the carpet and then vacuuming it works like magic for such cases. Artistic people can be messy sometimes. No judgment here, I know it's all part of the creative process. But this hack will actually help save time from cleaning only to paint more. I think that's more than enough laundry detergent. Yep, she agrees with me. There's a way to make sure he uses the right amount next time. Just put the ice tray in the freezer and you'll have yourself jelly detergent cubes. Hey, this'll save you money too, you know. Cleaning your brushes is such a bore. It's definitely something that tests one's patience. This shaving foam hack will save you a lot of time. I feel like that amount of hair will clog the sink though. Remember what parents always say, wash your hands before eating something. But looks like that's not an easy task with those melted soap bars. A couple of rubber bands will help you save your soap. It won't be touching water all the time, and therefore, it'll last longer. Oh man, I hate it when bottles get all dirty inside. If you're not Mr. Fantastic with the ability to stretch your body into any shape, then this looks like an impossible task. Hey, wait, maybe I was looking at it the wrong way. Magneto's powers will work perfectly fine here. I feel like you'll need a stronger magnet, however. Wow, this bottle looks brand new now! Don't you just hate that cooking and cleaning takes forever, but eating the dish you made takes like 15 minutes? Guess that guy leaves all the hard work to the lady. Don't worry, miss, there's a way you can avoid this disaster. Just cover the surfaces with stretch film, and that's it! Now you don't need to get anxious about all the cleaning you'll have to do later. Hope this won't cause you to be late for your work. Because how are you going to explain this to your boss? You can't just say, I had to wait for the stinky odor to go away. It's always a real struggle to get the corners, am I right? But it's nothing a couple of straws can't fix. No dust left behind is the motto. You can firmly clean all the nooks and crannies that the regular vacuum head can't get to. If you're a jar collector like I am, then you already got everything you'll need for this hack. This is what being smart looks like, everyone. By the way, looks like you've been postponing doing the dishes for a while now, huh? Don't worry, no judgments. We've all been there. Those toothbrushes were basically swimming in there. But the glass filling up with water is inevitable, really. However, Orbeez balls can make the process a lot slower. Somebody needs to replace the paper towel. But don't head to the store just yet. I suggest you ditch paper towels altogether and go for this reusable option. You'll be saving a lot of bucks. Thank me later. Whoa, have you been collecting dirty makeup sponges or what? Don't use them until they're all clean. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they'll give you pimples. Looks like this is gonna take a while. But the satisfaction you'll get once you see them all clean will be worth it. These kind of look like Easter eggs to me. By the way, do you really need that many sponges to do your makeup? It's all fun and games until someone spills all the glitter on the floor. Worry not, we got you. Hey, good to see you recycling. No, you don't need a bigger bin, trust me. All you need is to know this one hack. And let's get this one thing straight. I know this is science, but it sure feels like magic. Honey, I shrunk the trash. Look at the difference here. It's a relief to see you don't have a pile of dirty dishes like the lady before. But how are you going to explain that sink? Seems like you've been ignoring it for quite some time now. That's why you need something strong to scrub there. But I have a better solution, one that won't tire you. Just apply a coat of dish soap and soda mixture all around the sink and wait. I wouldn't believe how it works wonders if I didn't see it with my own eyes. You're gonna hurt your back and knees cleaning like this. You know, robot vacuum cleaners don't need coffee breaks, right? So put that thing to work. In the meantime, you can just relax and maybe even start reading the book you bought 6 months ago. No matter how many times you clean the stove, it always gets dirty at the end of the day, right? Well, not anymore. Hey, I think I'm gonna give this a try using glitter glue. It'll help make things more fun. You should have bought a trash bin with a lid. To avoid the awful stench, you know? Although this hack won't make the trash smell good or anything, it will at least help keep your bin fresh and nice. I know this is not a food hacks video, but that doesn't stop me from wanting some snacks now. Even if you're too old to play with slimes, it might be a good idea to keep one at home for stuff like this. If I were you, I would still disinfect that with antibacterial wipes or something, just in case. Hey, it's her turn to pick the movie now. Uh-oh, someone's forgotten to add laundry powder to the shopping list. That's okay, you can still make your own with everyday things, such as baking soda and a soap bar. This lady is one of the lucky ones because she has a dishwasher. Placing a piece of lemon, even one that's been juiced, will help freshen the load and leave your dishes looking shinier. This is why I never wear white socks if I'm going to visit someone else's house. Because I don't really want to see how dirty their floors might be, you know? Using bleach for situations like this may help, but it might also ruin your garments. That's why this hack is the better option to make white clothes look great again. You might want to clean the microwave after you're done, though. This phone case looks like it's been through some tough stuff. Let's give it the second chance it deserves. All you need to do is apply WD-40 spray, pour some soda, and rinse it out. By the way, if you have sensitive skin, you might want to wear protective gloves to avoid irritation. Better safe than sorry. Cleaning stubborn stains on a glass stovetop can be tricky. There's always the risk of causing scratches on the surface. That's why any type of scrubbing or scraping action is not advised. Did you know that according to one poll, an average person spends more than 6 days a year washing dishes? Then there's all the other cleaning stuff that needs to be done. But knowing the right hacks will save you a lot of time and make your life so much easier. Wow, your shoes are definitely cleaner than this house. Who knew shoelaces would work like a charm when it comes to getting rid of all the dust and rust? Is it time to go to bed yet, or are you tired of all the work you've done around the house? I was being sarcastic. Your partner did all the work. So saving her toothbrush is the least you can do. If you see someone putting ketchup on some car, it doesn't mean you're witnessing them preparing a prank. It means they're just taking care of their car. Yup, it goes great with hamburgers and hot dogs, but it goes even better with cars since it has ingredients that are good at removing rust. Rust occurs when the metal gets exposed to moisture, oxygen, and heat, and due to weather conditions, it's hard to avoid it. When you leave rust for a longer time and don't deal with it, it will continue to degrade the metal. So, you need to get rid of it before your car becomes physically useless. That's when ketchup comes in. Its key ingredient is tomatoes, and they have many nutrients similar to those you can find in oranges and some other citrus fruits. For instance, citric acid can help you remove rust from metal surfaces since it eats through rust. We're not talking about the cars only. You can use it on metallic kitchenwares, furniture parts, jewelry, and rust spots on generally any metallic item. You can combine it with washing soda. It's not quite effective against rust, but when you combine it with ketchup, it'll do the work. Mix these two and apply them to the rusted area. Leave it like that for about half an hour and wash it with a wet cloth or sponge. You can combine ketchup with salt instead, or just apply a lot of it on the rusty area without using any additional ingredients. Ketchup removes tarnish from brass copper too. Put it on brass hardware on doors and cabinets, or some accessories such as bowls and candlesticks for 10 minutes to make it all shine. And also, you don't put it on meat just because of taste. Ketchup breaks down its fibers, which means it makes it more tender. If you've left a pot on the stove and your food burned, once again, take ketchup. Its acids will ease all the scrubbing and help you with grease. Just leave it over the night and you'll be able to wash the pot more easily. Or keep those small packages of ketchup we all end up having from fast food orders in the freezer. The ketchup won't be as hard as an ice cube as it freezes. So, it will be good for soothing insect bites or similar things. Okay, enough with ketchup already. I'm getting hungry. Your home has more regular things that can do magic tricks. Like if you have a house or a big terrace and want to make a nice flower wall. Try old mattress springs. Just hang them on the wall and let your imagination run wild with flowers. An old flower sifter can still come in handy, for example, as a planter. Even if you don't have one, you might find it at a garage sale or a thrift store. Wallpaper is making its big comeback when it comes to home design. Maybe you can try something different and use some old books with torn pages. You just need to learn the basics of hanging wallpaper, and voila! You get a new cool place for your old books. There's a solution for the remains of an old book. Don't worry. You can have blocks where you'll keep your kitchen knives. It's pretty original, don't you think? Cleaning blinds can be frustrating, but the next time you do it, try doing it with a sock over your hand. Hands are kind of perfectly shaped for getting all those nooks and crannies on the blinds, and the sock will do the rest. Here's something you wouldn't expect. Ice cubes can help you remove gum from carpet, clothing, and hair. Just put your clothes in the sink and add ice cubes. Leave it like that for a while. Ice will freeze the gum, so you can chip it away more easily. If the gum got stuck on the carpet, leave ice cubes right in the critical spot and remove the gum with a butter knife. It's a little bit harder to remove it from hair though, but still possible. Just wrap the ice and parts of your hair with the gum in a washcloth until the gum gets frozen. When you get there, you should be able to break apart the gum and free your hair using your fingers. Or next time you have to deal with a splinter, just take one ice cube to numb that area before you even start doing anything. Vacuuming can't suck all that dust out of your cushions, but a tennis racket can. It's a tool firm enough to beat the dust, but at the same time, it has holes where dust can go through. If you have some old CD spindles you don't use anymore, bring one of them back to life, this time as a bagel tote. It doesn't take up a lot of space in your backpack, plus you can close it so your bagel doesn't fall apart. It doesn't look like that at first, but there's a lot you can do with a tennis ball too. For example, use it as a bottle opener for twist-off bottle caps or maybe sticky jar lids. Cut along the seam of a ball so you'll have a tool coated with rubber on the inside. It gives a great grip. And it doesn't stop here for tennis balls. You can cap your chair legs to protect your floor. You can leave some in a pool if you have one too. Pools quickly become very dirty if you're using them frequently. And tennis balls can absorb some of the oil coming from the people and the rest of the goop that floats on the surface. Another frustrating task is removing floor scuff marks. Yup, a tennis ball once again. Just place it on a stick. It works like an eraser. It can also be a great tool for massage. You can try with your back. Lie down on the ball on the floor and place the tennis ball on the spots where you feel the most pressure. Or maybe put it against the wall and massage stiff parts. Or something I need, a tennis ball as a holder where I can keep my reminders. Just cut a slit into its side and place your message inside. It can be a cool gift too. Or add a small metal or wooden piece so you have a key holder too. Bread tabs can be great for labeling cords and never getting lost down there with your power strip. Plastic bread tabs are sturdy, and there's enough room on them to write what the cable is for and easily clip it around the end of a cord. Plus, they come in different colors, so you'll easily recognize them and know which electrical device you can turn off. You don't have to immediately throw away an empty milk jug. Just take sharp scissors and cut off its top. Then, clean up the cut so you're sure there are no sharp edges. Now, you have a new scoop for potting soil, food for your dog, or whatever you need it for. A bobby pin is a great nail holder. You can easily get distracted and hammer a finger when working with tiny nails. So, it would be better to go with a common bobby pin to keep your fingers at a safe distance. If you don't have enough space for your cookbook while preparing a meal, take a pants hanger and attach your recipes there. Also, if you have a broken pants hanger, you don't need to throw it away, or at least not all the pieces. You can remove clips and use them for pasta or some other open packs in your kitchen. Don't throw away an empty ketchup bottle. You can use it for a pancake mix so it doesn't get too messy when you're preparing this delicious breakfast. It can get tricky to carry your stuff at the beach, so take an old lotion bottle and clean it out so you can put your money, phone, and keys inside. Less chance someone will take any of this stuff even if they manage to take a peek inside your bag.
Even when you listen to the instructions and create a strong password for any of your online accounts, you're still not entirely safe from hackers. They always come up with new ways to crack what you think might finally be a good and secure password. For example, there's a password manager tool that has taken a look at more than 60 million passwords from data breaches. It turns out the majority of people choose passwords that aren't that unique. I love you, Ferrari, and password 1234 are some of the most popular ones, together with Star Wars. For hackers, these are really not difficult to guess. Plus, they have special tools that help them with cracking passwords. For example, one takes a list of dictionary words and then uses them to find out passwords. With this tool, you can try millions of words in a pretty short time. It's able to do some sneaky things too, such as replacing an E with 3 or an A with an @ sign. This tool also noticed that there were a lot of people who believed they were unique and creative with their passwords because they used a tactic we call password walking. It's when your fingers walk across the keyboard, and you create a password using keys that are next to each other. For example, QWERTY or ASDFG. It may seem meaningless enough to be safe, but you're not the only one who's thought of it. And hackers know it. They can upload basically any number of different variations into some of their tools to test them out. So it's just a matter of time before they find out what your password is. Here's a big no-no: using the same password for multiple websites. Hackers love when you do that, because once they figure out one password, they can use it to access all your other accounts too. Let's say your base password is Porsche. Then you add a few numbers and symbols to the end to create a unique password for each site you use, like Porsche 3%5% for Facebook, or Porsche $5.7 for Twitter. Most of us use the same principle at some point. The thing is that hackers are not going for your bank account or work VPN first, even though one of the main goals is to get there. They'll use their special tools to try out lots and lots of different usernames and passwords on websites that might not have the best security, such as an online forum you often visit, or maybe an e-commerce site where you've had some shopping lately. All they have to do is try different variations of your base password, like Porsche 1 or Porsche 123, and sooner or later, they'll crack the code and gain access to all your accounts. And if they get lucky and guess your login info for one of those sites, they can then use that info to try and access more important sites. And we're not talking about some genius hackers here. They use simple tricks, like checking your social media profiles. If you've ever mentioned your dog's name or your kid's birth date on Facebook, for example, a hacker could use that info to guess your passwords. So Chappie123 is out. So what's the solution here? First, stop trying to come up with some unique passwords based on things in your life. Instead, use a password manager to generate strong, random passwords for all your accounts. And make sure those passwords are long and include a variety of characters, not just lowercase letters. Plus, it's much safer to create unique, random passwords for each site you use. That way, even if a hacker does manage to crack one of your passwords, they won't be able to access all your other accounts as well. And you won't have to remember all those crazy passwords yourself. The password manager will do it for you. Also, it's better to have a long password. The tools hackers use crack shorter passwords with lowercase letters way faster. If you add only one asterisk and one capital letter, it will change the processing time for, let's say, a password with 8 characters from 2.4 days to 2.1 centuries. Here's another scam they use to get your password. Let's say you're playing a game of capture the flag, and the other team manages to break into your fort and steal your flag. They now know exactly where your fort is and how to get in. That's basically what hackers do in data breaches. They break into a company's fort, their database, and steal all the sensitive information they can find, like your passwords, credit card details, and even your social security number. Then, they sell this information to other bad guys on the darknet, who can use it to pretend to be you and steal your money or even your identity. Stay up to date on news of data breaches and change your passwords immediately if one of your accounts was affected. And if you receive an email about a data breach, don't respond to it. Instead, visit the company's website or call their official customer support number to verify the situation. Phishing is when these thieves send you fake emails that look like they're from important people or companies, like the president or your bank. They might even ask you to click on a link that takes you to a fake website that looks real, but it's actually a trap. If you fall for their tricks and give them your password or personal information, they can use it to sneak into your computer and steal more stuff. Yikes! Don't reply to strange messages or click on weird links. If you're not sure if an email is real or fake, do some detective work and contact the sender directly through their official website. And remember, never ever give away your personal information to anyone, even if they claim to be your long-lost cousin or a famous celebrity. Have you ever gotten an email that says something like, "Reset your password now," but you don't remember asking for it? Yep, hackers once again. They send you fake emails that look like they're from a website you use, like Facebook or Amazon. They'll say something like, "Your account has been hacked. Reset your password now to be safe." But if you click on the link they provide, it'll take you to a fake website that looks real, and hackers will be able to see any information you put in there. So, if something in your email seems weird, it's probably a scam. Check for signs of fraud, like spelling mistakes or strange designs, and always make sure to check the sender's email address to see if it matches the website they're claiming to be from. If hackers manage to get your passwords, they can cause serious issues to your reputation, finances, and other things related to your online identity. That means access to your social media accounts, email, personal identifiable information, and more. Let's play detective and spot the signs of a hacked password. First, if your password suddenly stops working, it might mean a hacker has changed it. So if you're locked out of your account for no reason, it's time to investigate. Next, if your computer starts acting slow and sluggish, it could be a sign that it's been infected with password-stealing malware. Another thing to watch out for is finding your personal information on the dark web. That's like the sketchy black market of the internet where hackers sell stolen data. If you see your info for sale there, it's time to take action. Have you ever heard of ransomware? It's a type of malware that locks you out of your own computer and demands money if you want to regain control. Yikes! In Costa Rica, hackers even attacked local authorities with this nasty stuff. Last but not least, if your friends or family start receiving strange messages from you online, it's a red flag that someone else might be using your accounts. So if your BFF gets a message from you about buying a Nigerian prince's yacht, it's probably time to change your passwords ASAP.